shared global destiny.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before since the book of Acts.
But is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? What does the Bible say?
We have to become fighters in the spirit for God. We don't accept what the enemy wants to do with our culture. We don't accept what he wants to do with the nation. If we keep fighting, we win.
Powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie based on Jonathan Cahn's international bestseller, The Dragon's Prophecy, combines history and scripture with faith, justice, and renewal. The Dragon's Prophecy, a new film by Dinesh D'Souza. Now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes. It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
The Ayatollah is dead. He died like a dog. I can say that, right, Squirrel? I hope he doesn't have lawyers listening. He might sue me. The good news is he's voting Democrat forever in Chicago. I wonder if he voted in the other election. We'll talk about that and so much more after News with Patrick.
Good afternoon. We're at 62 degrees in Chicago on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Patrick Johnson in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Clear to partly cloudy skies through the rest of the afternoon and evening. Temps in the mid to upper 50s early, then cooling to the 40s overnight. Ahead for the weekend, sharp chill and possible weather shift for Saturday and Sunday with cooler temps and some chance of precipitation as the system moves through. A House committee has advanced a mega project bill about a Chicago Bears stadium project, but several lawmakers and an advocacy group warn that the bill could lead to a meteoric rise in property tax bills.
State Rep Cam Buckner said House Bill 910 authorizes a mega-project assessment freeze and allows municipalities to negotiate incentive agreements with mega-project developers.
So instead of letting a mega-project blow up a tax base in unpredictable ways or letting negotiations happen in the shadows, this bill creates a clean structure.
Brian Costin of Americans for Prosperity Illinois said it's a property tax shift bill.
It would shift liability from mega-project developers directly onto homeowners, small businesses, creating a mechanism that could double or triple the effective property tax rates over the next few decades.
Several lawmakers said the mega-project bill could also apply to battery farms and data centers. I'm Jim Talamonte.
This report is a service of Team Hochberg. They've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners with the best rates and service. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. That's 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 613114. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Access One Business IT Services and Support.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages pairing from earlier bigger losses and kicking off the new trading month mixed as investors assess the fallout from U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran. Oil prices jump with worries that the conflict in the Middle East will clog the global flow of crude. Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, topped $80 a barrel, but moderated gains and is hovering around $77. ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other oil stocks rose as the price of crude oil surges. Defense stocks gain with Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman leading the charge. The magnificent big cap tech stocks were mostly higher. Tech, industrials, and energy were among the S&P 500 sectors that gained. The Dow winners, Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs, and Nvidia. The Dow decliners, Home Depot, Sherwin-Williams, and McDonald's. The Dow falling 73 points, the Nasdaq up 81, S&P 500 up 3. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Larry Elder reacts to Trump's State of the Union.
The whole point was to talk about his accomplishments, talk about how the economy is doing now, how it's going to be doing down the road, what the benefits will be of the big, beautiful bill, all of which he accomplished. And I'll tell you, I knew it was going to be long. I thought it was going to be too long, but I enjoyed every single minute of it.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 8, right before Shaun Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes and their families, heroes like Scott Abrams. Now, for more than 3 decades, Scott served his community and country while he was on his NYPD motorcycle escorting a funeral procession. Scott was hit by a bus, leaving him partially paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers was able to honor Scott with a mortgage-free smart home Please join us supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. If you can donate $11 a month, go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Raj Shah, host of Unleash Your Wealth.
You know, there are a lot of clients and people coming in from the radio into our office saying, I don't want to lose any money. I need to protect the money I have saved over the last 20 or 30 years, where you have strategies where you can structure an income stream where it has an inflation protection so that as inflation, if it continues to go up, your income will go up.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Tri-State southbound at Cermak, there's a crash blocking 2 of the right lanes, so heads up for that delay. Elsewhere on the outbound Edens, a 14-minute trip, Montrose out to Lake Cook Road, Kennedy out, 35 minutes from the Janeburn interchange to O'Hare. Express lanes out, right near Ohio, there's a medical emergency off to the right shoulder. On the Eisenhower 40 post office to 390, Stevenson 38 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355, 25 minutes to get to 95th on the outbound Orion, tighten the Express, 47th to Marquette. It looks like the Reagan backs up westbound near the Tri-State and 53 North, a crash at Dundee. Traffic is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. Brighten your home and make the rooms in your house look better and bigger with larger windows or patio doors this spring. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your consultation today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle as we reach a low of 33. Moving into Tuesday, we can anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower as temperatures climb to a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle, and temperatures will drop back down to 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
The market's gonna crash! Oh my God, oil's gonna rally! The end of the world! All wrong again. All wrong. Market rallies the even. S&P closes up. NASDAQ closes up. Russell closes up. West Texas Index, $70 to $72, which is about $40 less than it was 9 months after stole the 2020 election. Stole it. And all of this nonsense, all of the media morons. Now they root for the Ayatollah of your ass, who's now minus 72 virgins. He just realized, oh, damn it. I was wrong, and I walked around in that costume for 80 years, preaching that gobbledygook for nothing. Say hello to all the rest of the scoundrels in hell for me. And the reason I say that, Squirrel, is I remember like it was yesterday.
Iranian students continue to hold more than 50 hostages at the American embassy in Tehran this morning.
That's Tom Brokaw before he became a pathological liar. It turns out they held our hostages for 444 days. Now, I know Chicago public school students can't figure that out. That's 14 and a half months as the stumbling, bumbling fraud, asset of big oil, asset of every scallywag fraud who wanted to operate cartels and really start the logistics from Venezuela with the Iranians and all the rest of it to Mena, Arkansas. He ran cover for him with his mealy mouth. Finally died, Jimmy. Took him 100 years, but he made it.
Mr. President, could you tell us how the tide is being turned in the case of the American hostages in Tehran?
Well, we haven't made adequate progress there. What we've done since the very beginning is to try to protect the lives and safety of those hostages from the original threats that they would be tried and executed.
Hey, peanut nuts! Peanut nuts! How'd you do that? You bribed the Ayatollah. Was that Khomeini then and then Khomeini later? Who gives a rip? That nonsense. You bribed them and it didn't work. And that's because we didn't have a man as president. We had Democrats.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't. What is your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the out of them. It's true.
And the crowd goes wild. And you should have bombed them in 1979 when they had the audacity to capture our Americans and keep them for 49 days. How about in 1983? How about in 1983 when you filthy pigs killed our Marines, not to mention so many others? What about then? You want to talk about it then? They can't remember and they're hoping nobody else does.
For the last 24 days, our nation's concern has been focused on our fellow Americans being held hostage in Iran. We have welcomed some of them home to their families and their friends.
4 years of that. And that's without dementia or a diaper. It was even worse when Biden stole the election. 4 years of it. But for 47 years, it's the same poppycock, death to America. And it's not really America per se. It's the idea of freedom and liberty and Western civilization.
A car loaded with bombs exploded this morning outside the United States Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon.
The group is believed to be pro-Iranian.
19 American airmen were killed while they slept at the Khobar Towers complex in Saudi Arabia.
2 American embassies blown up in East Africa minutes apart.
An explosion claimed the lives of at least 4 sailors on one of our naval vessels, the USS Cole, this morning.
The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee tells Fox that all signs point to Iranian-linked terrorists.
Iran and Hezbollah has now provided expertise to the insurgents.
In front of a crowd chanting "Death to America," Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei agreed.
And all of those years in the middle, all the same Jimmy Carter bribing savages in costumes to pretend to be civilized. 2016.
And we're following developing news right now out of Iran, where 2 U.S. Navy boats have been seized by the Iranian military. U.S. officials say 10 Americans were on board at least one of the boats on a training mission in the Persian Gulf when it experienced technical difficulties and drifted into Iranian-claimed waters.
Do you remember this, Squirrel? Nobody does. Barack Obama was late in his presidency. People were already so drained down with failure and corruption that they got used to. These filthy animals made our Navy sailors apologize to their filthy theocrat cult ass as they hung anybody who spoke against that yabba dabba do.
We're about to play you new video just into us here at CNN showing one of these U.S. sailors, one of these sailors who was detained, apologizing for straying into Iran's fiercely monitored territorial waters after he and 9 other Americans were captured by Iran. Of course, there are a lot of questions about whether he was coerced into that apology or saying it out of fear.
You think so? Dingbat, dizzy bimbo. This is how everything was reported during the Obama years. You remember Obama, Squirrel? He liked an ugly woman with big feet.
Here you go.
It was a mistake. That was our fault, and we apologize for our mistake.
See, now if we would have had a man as president, we would have mutzed everybody that night. But Donald Trump was just getting started running.
For 47 long years, the expansionist and Islamist regime in Tehran has waged a savage, one-sided war against America. They didn't always declare it openly, except for their constant chants of death to America. They did it through the blood of our people. Car bombs in Beirut, rocket attacks on our ships, murders at our embassies, roadside bombs in Iraq and Afghanistan, funded and armed by Iranian Quds Force and IRGC killers. My generation of veterans carry the names of brothers who never came home. Brothers butchered by Iranian-backed roadside bombs and well-armed militias, thousands of our own. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their Ayatollah.
Everybody must die who profited from this nonsense. Everybody. You see, they became very sophisticated after Barack Obama. See, Barack Obama, really Bill Clinton, you could say, too, showed them how to set up like those phony Clinton Foundation funds. So they separated multitude of different LLCs and phony front groups and funded terrorism for 47 years. This is what I like about Donald Trump. How do you think that flight from Tehran to Caracas is going to go? You guys on time? Any delays in the future? He's dismantling what the corrupt scum politicians and the CIA in this country set up over decades. And I know you don't think so, and everybody's mad. You said no more wars. We were always in the war. You just pretended we weren't. Like in our own country. You see, we're in a war in our own country. And you got to keep your head on a swivel, like in Texas when the Islamo-Nazi shot a bunch of our cowboys. And how many people, for no other reason than the fact he, like so many others, want to fight Western civilization. And you have to understand, we don't know how many are here during the Biden years. There are Biden terrorist cells all throughout America. As that silly bimbo dummy opened up the borders for a very specific reason, had nothing to do with altruism.
It's a huge, huge number of criminals, gang members, terrorists that were crossing our border. We found many, I think 300, 400 that were on our terror watch list. And Dr. Feldbach-Brown, I'm just confused why you would say a year ago that President Trump was making false statements that Biden was allowing, your words, criminals and terrorists to cross our border. You thought that was a false statement? Do you stand by that that's a false statement, that Biden didn't let in terrorists and criminals?
Well, I certainly think that the Biden administration tried to prevent those individuals from.
That's the plausible deniability. He tried to prevent it. And if you listen to this moron, who apparently can still get up and with a shot of formaldehyde and espresso and some Viagra right into his eyeball, still read a teleprompter.
They're around the world.
Not good.
Despite everything you read.
Uh-huh.
Despite everything you read, despite the fact that COVID drove migration to record levels all around the world, the day I left office, border crossing into the United States were lower than the day that I entered that office inherited from Trump.
Is it 12 million? Is it 15 million? How many Biden terrorist cells are walking around our country? The good news is, hours before the attack, our Trump government arrested 15 Iranian terror cell members.
Concern about our safety here at home in the wake of the strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. Breaking news today. Immigration and Customs agents announced they have arrested 15 illegal Iranian immigrants since Sunday.
Ice, ice, baby! Too cool! Get the rest of these filthy scumbags. And all you got to do is combat the traitor Democrat that may be in charge of your area. They will work their way up now. It's no more where you just get a communist scumbag alderman, maybe a mayor, perhaps a councilman, a little pocket on the side, making money on the side jobs. Now maybe it's all the way up to, say, the Senate. Could be the Senate. After all, have you heard senators lately? Tim Kaine!
Senator Tim Kaine coming to you on a dark day. President Trump has initiated a completely unnecessary, in my view, really idiotic and illegal war against.
And it's your view I want to talk about. You're one of those lawyers, one of those cum laude slip and fall lawyers, and you're an American senator. And if you don't remember who Tim Kaine is, he's the stupid, corrupt son of a dog that believes your rights come from his crooked ass, because in Democrat areas, they do. In Democrat areas, you're a slave.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that
Now, any decent society built on the Enlightenment would have removed his crooked ass. But among Democrats, he has a probability of 90% of being elected until he's dead. And as for the constituents, you're going to vote Democrat long after you're dead, like the Ayatollah's doing right now in Chirac. 312-642-5600.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds, for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and Term Provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou.
He's like you.
800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta. 800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
Think your IT systems couldn't get any better? Prove it. Take the Access One $10,000 challenge. For companies with 25 to 500 employees, we'll conduct a free, confidential risk assessment based on NIST or CIS regulations. If your systems and processes are 100% compliant and we can't find a single improvement opportunity based on the regulations, we'll write you a check for $10,000. For over 30 years, Access One has helped Chicagoland businesses strengthen cybersecurity, streamline IT operations, and reduce costs through managed IT and cloud solutions. Ready to take the challenge? Schedule your free, confidential risk assessment. Visit accessoneInc.com/challenge or call 800-654-1555. Certain terms and conditions apply. See details online.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
AM 560, The
Answer. Get some! 444 days. Secretaries and office workers, kids that had no fragging idea. All because of yabba dabba do. You know, it became so silly, so ridiculous, that you could do nothing. It's like Chicago. What do? You just make fun of it.
Can we get rid of this Ayatollah t-shirt? Khomeini died years ago.
But Marge, it works on any Ayatollah. Ayatollah Nakbada, Ayatollah Zahedi. Even as we speak, Ayatollah Razmara and his cadre of fanatics are consolidating their power.
I don't care who's consolidating their power.
And there was another Khomeini. Was that his kid? Was that his stepkid? Was that some niece's nephew? Odds are he was born of cousins, and that's the way it went. And when the upper echelon called to figure out, is he still alive, we have the tape, don't we, Squirrel?
Jenny, what happened?
Well,
Everything straightened out?
No, we had a problem. I mean, we tried to do everything we could.
What do you mean?
Well, you know what I mean. He's gone. And we couldn't do nothing about it. That's it.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
He's gone. He's gone. That's it.
That's it. Couldn't do nothing about it. Then he flipped over the phone booth. Bill and Bartlett.
Hey, Shaun, how are you?
Having a better time than if I was sitting next to somebody with Tourette's on a plane.
I was listening to NPR earlier, and I have to do that because I have communist siblings, and I want to know what they're listening to. But so I was listening, and they had this thing going on earlier today of, experts coming in and saying that President Trump has learned nothing from history. Every time we go into the Middle East, it's a disaster. And so I started to think about history, and I was like, okay, 1939, there was this guy named Hitler, and, he waltzed into Poland and took it over, and the European countries said, but, it's just Poland. And before you know it, he's in Belgium and the Netherlands, and France just fell like a leaf. And before you know it, Neville Chamberlain in London has gone, hey, we can just talk to this guy. He'll be reasonable. Some people you can't be reasonable with.
So there's another side of that story, right? Because
wait, let me just finish on and I'll let you go. I can't believe I'm interrupting you. But so I was thinking through the history. So coming full circle, the Berlin Wall fell. We're on the verge of the Berlin Wall falling again. That's where we're at. It's a big moment in history. It's a positive moment in history. And so many people in this country, they just don't understand. They're listening to the lies of, we didn't learn from history. No, actually, this is a president who's probably got C+ average on history and a damn good A+ instinct.
Well, and the other thing is he lived through the 70s. He lived through the 70s. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions because he lived through the 70s, and only when you live through the 70s do you have the perspective that can take can frame this argument when it comes to Iran. But when you talked about Hitler, what else is very interesting, Bill? Before Hitler sacks Poland, he has to secure oil and other products that he needs to fight a war. Where does he go in 1934? Where does he go? He goes to Persia. That's what it used to be called. And he starts to corrupt their government. He starts to work hand in glove with their new rent mark and the rest of it so that they could become the theocracy eventually, that they were. So if you look at when Iran became Iran, which means land of the Aryans, that's 1935. That's after a long symbiotic bribery pay-to-play scheme with Persia that became Iran to appease Adolf Hitler, the Aryan. It all needs to be brought into focus.
But let's understand, the Persian people today, the true Persian person, they are very peace-loving, good people.
Of course.
Well-educated, friendly.
I told you.
And they want to be free. And that's why I want them to be free.
Listen, first of all, in Melrose Park, one of the best family with the prettiest girls. They were Iranians. And that's where the perspective I came during the 70s. Then down here, my friend who just passed away, he was the son of the pilot that flew the Shaw out in Iran. And the Shaw made him wait so he could get his son and his kid out. And that kid just passed away. His name was Fari. And what people don't want you to understand is there were many Christians in Iran. Now, granted, they've killed a tremendous amount. We don't know the numbers because they don't keep them. So when somebody tells you that they're fighting for a theocracy, odds are they're just American-hating, self-loathing communists here, Bill. Now, good luck with the siblings, kid. I don't know how you do it, but good luck. Thank you for the call. My guy, Rich, he's trained guys to go to war all his life. Rich, Indian Head Park.
Hey, Shaun, how was the weekend? I hope you had a good one.
It was good. It was good. I left later than I thought I would, and I went to the city. Boy, oh boy, that was an adventure. But something interesting. But, I was thinking about you today, right? Because Trump has to come out and say that we have soldiers that are dead, that are killed in action. Right. And he has to do it, and he'll be attacked for it. And I was remembering how the media rarely said a word way back when it was the beginning of Vietnam. They rarely said a word about the death and the mayhem. And we were talking numbers that were so staggering they felt they had to fraud them and hide them. Where at least now we come out and say, you killed 3, you killed 4, you killed 5. And each one of them, we will kill 1 million of yours. We will vindicate and make it so you can never fight again. Now, I would think, knowing some guys that went and fought, that's the exact reaction that they would want from the grave. But I could be wrong.
I would think they would, yeah.
Of course you would.
I mean,
train your ass off, and you want your government to now start paying them?
58,000 men.
Yeah. Right.
And when do we hear about it? Nowadays, we lost 58,000 men. Vietnam. But when it was happening, we never heard anything. And now that he finally took it into his own hands to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon, the Democrats are all up in arms. Oh, you have to go to Congress. You have to go to Congress. Did anybody go to Congress when our men were being killed?
Well, first, right, you should just call it a police action. But you know what's funny too, Rich? For years, I used to blame the Vietnamese and blame the whole thing. And then I started to pick it apart, right? I started to pick it apart. I started to look at the lies of our government, look at the profiteering from the upper echelon. It's the same thing with the Iranians. Our government and scallywags in our government have been profiting from this unholy alliance for decades. This is what they are protesting. They're protesting the fact that so far Trump has destroyed it in Venezuela. He's destroyed it in Iran. He's destroying the logistics. He's destroying the agreement that our corrupt government officials have had with these totalitarian countries since the 60s. And that's the beauty. And, it'll take 10, 15, 20 years for it to be recognized. But at least those soldiers in both Vietnam and all the wars that we fought, including Korea, at least they'll all be vindicated. So thank you very much, Rich, for chiming in. I appreciate it. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Raise your hand if chronic pain is making you feel older than you actually are. Ongoing pain can really turn your golden years upside down. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics patients right here in Chicagoland are getting relief. And it didn't happen in an operating room. Dr. Caravelli and QC Kinetics medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon. Patrick's golf game is on fire again, and Andrea's back in her garden. These are real QC Kinetics patients. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation and pain eases, and the sooner joint damage slows down. So don't wait. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments, and tell them I sent you when you do. Your visit and consultation free. Call now, 312-827-6261. Again, 312-827-6261. Call QC Kinetics at 312-827-6261.
312-642-5600. When we get back, if you care to chime in, I'll take you after Greg, Phyllis, Nick, and Mike. That'll all happen after News with Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Shaun. Good afternoon, everyone. We're sitting around 60, 61 degrees right now in Chicago, the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. Mega project legislation intended for the Chicago Bears passed an Illinois House committee Thursday, but an opponent says the bill could trigger economic disaster. Jim Talamonte has more.
State Rep Cam Buckner said the amended bill would give municipalities and companies the ability to negotiate a structured pilot-style arrangement for mega projects. Americans for Prosperity Illinois Deputy State Director Brian Costin said House Bill 910 would trigger economic disaster.
I'm concerned that I don't believe that Governor Pritzker, the bill sponsors, the media, local units of government truly understand the ramifications of this legislation, because if they did, they would be treating it like nuclear waste.
The bill would allow the Bears' proposed $5 billion stadium project and any $500 million project in the state to pay a negotiated lower rate instead of the same property tax that other companies and residents pay. It would allow the construction of the facility to be done sales tax-free for 10 years.
People continuing to pay their respects for Reverend Jesse Jackson at Rainbow Push headquarters in Chicago today. Thousands of people filled into Push yesterday to view the global icon's body. This reporter's service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again. Not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands and receive your finally affordable dream smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. More news coming your way at 5 o'clock. Continuous coverage online, 560theanswer.com on AM 560 to the traffic center. Here's a check of the roads.
Northbound Route 53 at Dundee. Watch out for an accident blocking the right lane. Elsewhere, it's busy out there. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, 30 minutes with tie-ups in the Express. Keeler to the Edens. On the outbound Edens, no reported troubles though. The Eisenhower, 40 minutes. Post Office to 390. Stevenson, 35 to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355. Outbound Ryan, 28 minutes. You will see slowdowns in the Express, 47th to Marquette. An inbound 57 approaching 159th, a crash off to the right shoulder. Skyway looks good. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that is jammed both north and south. Tri-state delays either way as well. In fact, southbound side, a crash at Cermak. 3 right lanes are taken out. The Jane Addams is okay. Reagan looks good and a bit snug southbound 355 Ogden to Maple. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle and temperatures dropping to a low of 33. As we move into Tuesday, anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower possible and temperatures reaching a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle and temperatures remaining around 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
If moving safely around your home is a concern, you deserve clear answers, not a sales pitch. Access will help you improve home accessibility with practical solutions like lifts, grab bars, and home modifications, designed to fit your home, your needs, and budget. Experienced professionals will take the time to explain your options so you can make an informed decision. If staying safe and comfortable in your home matters to you, start with a free in-home consultation. Call Access at 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, hoping you'll join me on the unforgettable Gulf of America cruise happening in November of 2026. Imagine this: turquoise waters, white sand beaches, incredible food, insightful conversations about the future of America. Scott Jennings and I will be your hosts. We'll dive into the issues shaping America as we cruise through some of the most stunning destinations while honoring the 250th anniversary of our nation. Book your cabin today. Text the word cruise to 94878. Text cruise to 94878 or visit mikeonline.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Sports memorabilia, movie posters, rock and roll. Get top dollar for your collection. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Justice will be served and the battle will rage. This big dog will fight when you rattle his cage. And you'll be sorry that you messed with the U.S. of A.
Only when there's not a Democrat in office, Squirrel. I remember that sniveling quiver fraud.
To build up on a worldwide basis support for our position, the condemnation of Iran, and the calling on the Iranian government to protect those hostages and to release them.
The millions, and I say millions, understanding how many of their own people they've killed, that have been murdered by this theocracy in costumes from the 7th century, are on that rat pig's soul. Not that he has one anymore.
We're about to play you new video just into us here at CNN showing one of these U.S. sailors, one of these sailors who was detained, apologizing for straying into Iran's fiercely monitored territorial waters after he and 9 other Americans were captured by Iran. Of course, there are a lot of questions about whether he was coerced into that apology or saying it out of fear. Here you go.
It was a mistake. That was our fault, and we apologize for our mistake. It was a misunderstanding We did not mean to go into Iranian territorial water.
See, right then, when I see our soldiers tortured like that and have to say that, then we kill everybody. But that's why I could never run for president, Squirrel. Never going to get past the primary. Greg in Rogers Park.
Yeah, I voted today here in Rogers Park. Worst experience ever. Nobody knew what they were doing. They gave me a Democratic. They tried to give me a Democratic ballot. Everyone was two of them were gangbangers and nobody couldn't even read. And I
No. Greg, whoa. Let me help you. Those are violence interrupters, and they're on the payroll now, and you may get a pension. They may get a pension, but go ahead.
And the other thing is that nobody knew what they were doing, and they didn't even know the difference between Democrat and Republican. They didn't even know how you're supposed to work the voting machines. It was just it was ridiculous.
Yeah, brother, what are you going to do? Don't worry. Khomeini offset your vote anyway. Thank you very much. It's Chirac and crooks and thieves, and you're used to it. A lot of pay to play. A lot of money and corruption. Just ask the dead Iranians. Eduardo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thank you, Shaun. I'm looking at these beautiful photos of that Iran mothership sunk in 11 boats. It's got that great picture.
Yeah, listen, in a couple of years, you'll be able to look for a two-flat, maybe something with a view in both Gaza and Iran. We just got to clean up the debris.
You know, Shaun, the Democrats think human rights is only for the illegals over here. But what about the Iranian human rights? How about that, Democrat?
Well, no.
They count
Listen,
too.
Eduardo, we have the answer. Tim Kaine and the mafia, communist, Marxist, socialist, scum Democrats, they think that your rights come from government. You do understand. Listen. Now, remember, when he did this, he's cum laude from Yale or Harvard or some school where if you date a girl named Biff and Skippy, you get a degree.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious movements.
Do you see? This is a senator. He doesn't understand the enlightenment of our country. Our rights do not come from you scum $2 whore politicians that any pimp can buy with a campaign contribution. They come outside of you. We don't have to worry about you, thankfully. Then again, when you occupy our areas and you rig the game, then I guess it's always a Democrat area. Isn't that right, Eduardo?
Yep.
Now, we just had our friend on from Rogers Park talk about his experience voting. Now, I have to tell you, 7 years ago, when I moved here, I couldn't get over the difference in voting. Do you have the same experience up in, where are you at, Hernando or wherever you are outside of Tampa? Do you have
Hillsborough. Tampa,
it's fantastic.
Hillsborough, yeah.
How about how nice everybody is?
John, so I know, yeah.
Is that fantastic? How about how nice everybody is?
Beautiful.
Everybody's got their ID. Did you ever have to deal with a gangbanger that can't read and doesn't know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat? I believe they're called violence interference executives.
Right.
Did you ever deal with one of those CEOs? No? All right.
Maybe in Chicago, but definitely not here in Tampa.
Because you got out in the right time, baby. Thank you very much for the call. I truly appreciate it. Fascinating. Illinois has got a couple of good people. Not many, but a couple. I got to tell you, I am a fan of this guy. What's his name there? Hellbrook? I'm a fan.
I rise today to speak about a matter that goes at the very heart of our democracy, election integrity. Last week, Congress passed the SAVE Act, a reminder that protecting the sanctity of our elections is not optional, it is essential. Here in Illinois, however, we have seen preventable failures that undermine public confidence in our system. In the Republican primary for governor, voters across our state are facing chaos. In 5 counties, Lake, Kane, McHenry, Boone, and Ogle, ballots included a candidate who, according to the State Board of Elections' final certification, should not have appeared.
It's all right. How many did they misspell Ted's name on? Well, that was the gangster, right? Who was the husband of the politician. I love that. I hope he doesn't get mad. Boy, oh boy, I might need a lawyer.
But is it possible in any way then to sue you people?
Sue who?
You. I'm asking you for help.
Sue who, me?
Yes.
Why you want to sue me?
Well, I'm trying to explain. I had a terrible accident.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, I'm asking you for help, and maybe I could sue for punitive damages that you're giving me.
I'm giving you?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
What'd I do to you?
Well, punitive damages here.
I'm a lawyer. What did I do to you?
The sidecar smashed into a pole and everything. I'm trying to explain this to you.
What's it, you want to sue me?
But why not?
Me?
Sue everybody.
Sir,
Squirrel, keep an eye out, Squirrel, for a letter from the Ayatollah's lawyer, will you? Walter Chirac.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Walter. How about you, kid?
Oh, we got mutual friends out there.
Oh, boy, if I had a quarter. Now, here, you got to keep in mind, you're talking to one of the guys who's got friends all over. Low places, high places, Mannheim Road, all the way to the Loop and the Mercantile Exchange. So are they good guys or are they scallywags?
They're the good guys.
All right,
Mickey
fair enough.
D.
Good. Go ahead.
From EP.
Oh, sure. Elmwood Park used to be something years and years ago. It's got its moments now. Still, you got to watch though. You got to watch where you go. But go ahead.
No, just playing bocce out here. But when I'm listening to the show with all
we do have friends.
Corruption.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, with all that corruption that's going on in Illinois, with the Secretary of State, look at this scumbag.
Silky G?
He's taking...
You're talking about Silky G. Alexi Giannoulias, Silky G. Slick.
Yeah, Silky G. He's taking money from the trucking companies, $300,000.
Oh, that's just a beak wet. That's a little, you got to get your beak wet, Walter. Come on, man. You know how this goes. You want to get those license plates on time, don't you, Mo? I'm so sick of it, Walter. I'm so sick of it. It's despicable and disgusting. I got to tell you, it takes me hours and days and showers to feel like an American again once I leave there. You know what I mean?
That's true. And he's giving all these illegals driver licenses. CDL.
Sure, you got to fill the roads up. What do you think that does for insurance? So what are you doing, Walter? You running?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, you're running for
like a state.
Oh, you're lucky. He's moving on up. He's got bigger ideas. He hasn't decided yet if he wants to be the governor, he wants to be the mayor. I don't think he can be the senator, but you never know because after all, we just move some things around, Walter. You got to move things around in the ghetto. Have a good time. I wish you the best of luck. You want to give me your last name?
Adamczyk. Walter Adamczyk.
Good luck, Walter. And this is news for anybody running, including Silky G. Come on on. I'll take all your calls. You got to just pay with the questions. Let's see how you do, dummies. Walter, I wish you luck. Thank you, babe. Terry, Dyer, Indiana.
Hey, Shaun, let's just call Islam what it is. It's a death cult. It's an expansionist death cult because all they want to do is expand, and they're doing it in this country right now.
Let me ask you a
question.
question.
We all better wake up.
Are you trying to take Marco Rubio's job? Are you trying to take his job? Are you right now? Because you know what? I got a clip on the board. He said basically the same thing.
Really?
He might get sued by the Ayatollah. Me, you, and Mario. Or Marco.
Ultimately, all radical Islamic movements in the world identify the West writ large, but the United States in particular, as the greatest evil on the earth. And every chance they have, the notion that somehow radical Islam would be comfortable with simply controlling some province in Iraq or Syria is just not borne out by history. Radical Islam has shown that their desire is not simply to occupy one part of the world and be happy with their own little caliphate. They want to expand. It's revolutionary in its nature. It seeks to expand and control more territories and more people.
See, so Terry, you got to do yourself a favor if you don't want to get sued by the Ayatollah's slip and fall scumbag Democrat lawyer. You have to add the word radical, right? It's like when you read an article about a scumbag in Chicago, you got to name the article. You know what I mean? Like IllinoisAnswers.com. You got to name the article. Otherwise, everybody gets sued. You get the Jerky Boys attorney, sue you and all your people. Thank you very much. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bathroom, and basement project starts with smart planning, detailed 3D designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the first time. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
All right, Vito, you best be letting me in and having a look around.
Officer Murphy, hello. Yeah, this is Vito's vault.
We're definitely not a dinner theater speakeasy, where you can get dinner, drinks, and an amazing musical comedy show, plus free parking, all for one low price.
Oh, that's too bad. I was going to bring me dear sweet mother to see your show.
Well, why didn't you say so? Come on in.
Vito's Vault, Chicago's new Roaring Twenties dinner theater speakeasy. For tickets, go to vitosvault.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So, folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Don't miss Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn every Sunday from 11 to 12. Robert has a different way of looking at retirement from most financial advisors and is happy to share his ideas with you every week. So don't miss what he has to say on AM 560 The Answer. Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn, Sunday mornings from 11 to 12.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms do apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Squirrel, did you see the CEO of McDonald's on social media trying to eat a hamburger? Did you see that queen? Did you see him? Couldn't eat the hamburger. Embarrassing. Well, I wonder if he's going to sue me. You know, you could always change the channel, low-life scumbags.
But then, is it possible in any way then to sue you people?
Sue who?
You. I'm asking you for help.
Sue who, me?
Yes.
Why you want to sue me?
Well, I'm trying to explain. I had a terrible accident.
What's it got to do with me?
Well, I'm asking you for help, and maybe I could sue for punitive damages that you're giving me.
I'm giving you?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
What'd I do to you?
Well, punitive damages here.
I'm a lawyer. What did I do to you?
The sidecar smashed into a pole and everything. I'm trying to explain this to you.
What's it, you want to sue me?
Well, why not?
Me?
Sue everybody.
Sue everybody! Low-life scum. Where are we going? Let's go with Jim. Jim in Illinois.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Very good. How are you, babe?
I'm doing great. My concern is everybody says, this upcoming election, I don't think there's any integrity to it. Nobody's going to check. I've seen it in the past. First-hand witness, an individual didn't even have a green card, but they pulled him up to the side and said, don't worry, we'll get you in, because the person he claimed had already voted. So I know the Republicans, we really would like to see a change, but I don't see it happening because they're going to change the rules and the laws.
You sure we're not related? Are you sure we're not related? Did you check? Are you a handsome devil? You got a little bad attitude. You can't stand to lie to your face. Are you my cousin, Jim? And by the way, I say that because this is something, these are the conversations we've had. Since in 1960, we let the Chicago Mafia Democrats steal an election and bragged about it. We let our once great city be inhabited by pay-to-play scum, posing as lawyers and aldermen like Mike Madigan and Ed Burke. We've dealt with it, right? So what you have, you sound like you may be in a good county. Are you in a good county? Are you in one of the 30, is it 3 or 6 counties that voted for secession to be part of Indiana?
Unfortunately, no, I'm not. I'm up in McHenry area.
Yeah, that's a shame to watch that fall. That is a shame to watch that fall. But that's what it is. It's a cancer of corruption, brother. It's a cancer of corruption. And it infects both parties. And therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem, Jim. Once that cancer of corruption infects both parties and everybody starts to scheme and scheme and play to play and make bribery legal, then you're done, right? So to me, you're asking me as if we're cousins. Let's pretend we are. I tell you what I tell my real cousins. You could tolerate it or you could not. That's the answer. So, but you're right. And if you're in one of these mafia counties, I only used to go to start a fight with the half-assed tough guys. But when I grew up, the half-assed tough guys, they wouldn't mind scrapping in the street. Now they call their lawyer. It's different now. You know what I mean? Even the mafia's velvet. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate the call. This representative here, his county, I guarantee, voted for secession.
Voters in some counties are casting ballots with Joe Severino's name, while others are voting without him. Meanwhile, early voting has been delayed in our most populous counties, including Cook, giving some voters longer access and others less. And then there's Champaign County. The ballots for Ted Dabrowski were printed with his name misspelled as Tad. The county clerk, Aaron Ammons, refuses to reprint the ballots or halt.
I don't think he can spell it. You know why? He's a convict. Can't spell it. It's with an E, dummy. Probably went to school at CPS. Doesn't know. He's stupid. He's a Democrat. George, Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, did you hear that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, whatever the hell he's called, and his evil crew had a tracking device put in their teeth by their dentist? That's better than the beeper thing.
Did they realize? It's fantastic. I love it. Still voting Democrat. I hear he might be running for alderman. He might be running for Madigan's seat. Probably win. John, Lake Como, Wisconsin.
Shaun, my friend, we're in it now, buddy. And God help us, we love it.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
hold
but
on.
I've lived
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hey, Zach, kiss my balls. All right. John, how are you, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah, we're in this thing now.
I hate Democrats. I hate their voters. I hate their lawyers. God, I hate these freaking scum.
You know, I've lived long enough not to be pissed off anymore, but when I hear these young people talk, well, yeah, it's a good thing, but, it's okay, but, bad guy, but, you know what? That's why the grown-ups are in charge. Just shut up and pay attention till you're a grown-up.
I like it. Roberto, Bloomingdale, running out of time.
Hey, Shaun, quickly, I want to say, first of all, let's win this war for him. Get this over with fast.
Win the war. We motzed them all. They're all gone. We're just going to finish up now. Now we sweep up the riffraff.
Yeah, and how? I heard you on Black and White on Saturday, and good for you, because I called in and he hung up on me, and I was trying to explain the fact that Rick Heitner had to explain why he was organized crime.
Who'd you say? Who? I don't know. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. Hold on now. Wait a minute.
Sir, I can't help you.
Hello?
Yes?
The people that you work with and handle, I probably will sue them too, because I'm not getting...
handle? Who do I know what you're talking about.
Well, I had a terrible accident, sir.
And who are my clients?
Yeah. Somebody looked it up. Terrible accident. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you confident your IT systems are rock solid? There could be cracks you don't see. Don't leave your technology to chance. Take the Access One $10,000 challenge to find out. For more than 30 years, Access One has helped businesses strengthen their security, protect their data, and improve resistance to cyber vulnerabilities, all with reliable U.S.-based support. And here's our promise. If our experts can't identify at least one measurable improvement to your IT systems and processes based on NIST or CIS regulations, we'll reward your compliance excellence with $10,000. This free, confidential risk assessment is available to businesses with 25 to 500 employees, and it's a great way to verify your IT is secure and efficient. No gimmicks, just proven results from an experienced IT partner. Ready to put us to the test? Visit access1inc.com/challenge or call 800-654-1555 to schedule your assessment today. Certain conditions apply. See details online.
If you'd like a smartphone that's really smart, download the OnePlace.com app, the app that will inspire your faith daily and provide answers to the biggest questions of all. OnePlace lets you download your favorite pastor's programs and listen, even offline or in airplane mode, with easy connections to your Bluetooth speaker or dashboard. To download your free OnePlace app, visit the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store for your Android device and search for OnePlace. That's OnePlace.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Anthony and John here from Bionic Auto Parts, proud clients of Signature Bank. We deliver high-quality, recycled and remanufactured auto parts to Chicago and Milwaukee. Our mission is simple: provide parts safely, reliably, with great customer satisfaction.
We process over 350 vehicles a month. With big banks, everything took forever. Layers of approvals and endless delays. At Signature Bank, one call got it done. Whether it's lending, deposits, or treasury management, they deliver fast. Signature Bank made us feel like family. That's a partnership we deeply appreciate.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
I remember when Barack, you remember Barack, he likes an ugly woman. When Barack invaded Libya, all the calls for congressional, Nancy said we didn't need it. You know what I'm going to talk about this with, Squirrel? Nathan Worcester, award-winning journalist, senior reporter for the Epoch Times, not a communist, not a Marxist, not a scumbag. A good guy, Nathan Worcester, will join us to discuss the flip-flopping of American traders and so much more after News with Patrick.
Thank you very much. 60 degrees in Chicago in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. Crowds continue to gather in Chicago, saying their goodbyes to the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. Al Sharpton spoke as thousands gathered on Thursday at the Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters in South Chicago to pay their respects to the civil rights leader.
We spent a lifetime together. I've seen him stand up against adversity. I've seen him break history.
Sharpton, along with Mayor Johnson and other dignitaries, joined the Jackson family during the public viewing. Services continuing today at Rainbow Push. They will shift to South Carolina and Washington, D.C. next week. Leaders are still working to keep the Bears in Chicago. The city's acting CFO, Steve Marr, testified during a House committee meeting in Springfield about the bill related to the stadium project.
If the state is willing to support infrastructure spending elsewhere, either through direct or indirect subsidy, to facilitate a new sports stadium, then the state should be willing to support infrastructure spending in and around the museum campus for a similar development.
Marr says that the team departing from Chicago would have negative long-term consequences. As for that bill out of the state's House Public Finance Committee, it would freeze property taxes for mega projects like one in Arlington Heights. But here's the rub. The House of Representatives didn't vote on the measure, and they will not meet again in Springfield until March 18th. News a service of American Beam and Steel, structural repair licensed contractors for your home and business. Search for American Beam and Steel online. Schedule your consultation directly with the owner, Mark. American Beam and Steel. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages reversing earlier bigger losses and ending mixed as investors assess the conflict in the Middle East. Tech and energy stocks led the major turnaround on Monday. Oil prices jumped on worries that tensions with Iran could clog the global flow of crude. Defense stocks rallied, led by Lockheed Martin, RTX, and Northrop Grumman. ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other oil stocks rose as the price of crude oil surged. And the price of gold also popping and trading above $5,300 a troy ounce. The Dow lower by 73 points, the Nasdaq up 81, S&P 500 up 3. Cruise operators fell as investors anticipate shipping interruptions and higher fuel costs. Shares of Norwegian Cruise Line fell even more and dropped 10.5% after the cruise operator reported weaker revenue for its latest quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Following the attacks on 9/11/01, FDNY firefighter Daniel Foley assisted in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero. Daniel spent months and months searching for victims. Now, Daniel's death was the direct result of 9/11-related cancer. He leaves behind his wife, Carrie, and their children. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family's home. Join us. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani recently attended prayers at an Islamic center with documented ties to the Alavi Foundation, which the Justice Department has identified as an Iranian Front organization. While the mayor was there, an imam prayed for the Mahdi, a messianic figure in Islamic eschatology, to kill all infidels. The Constitution protects the free exercise of religion, but that doesn't require political leaders to legitimize rhetoric that casts fellow Americans as enemies of God who ought to be killed. At other recent events in Times Square, Islamic speakers have declared, quote, "We are a threat," unquote, referring to themselves. This isn't pluralism, it's provocation. America welcomes those who come here legally to embrace our way of life, but hostility to our faith, our freedom, and our fellow citizens can't be normalized. I'm Carol Platt-Liebau.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the Edens, going outbound, you're in great shape. The Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 35 minutes. Slowing in the express lanes, Keeler to the Edens. On the Eisenhower 45, Post Office to 390, while the Stevenson outbound is a 40-minute trip. Due Sable Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Dan Ryan, downtown to 95th at 25. It is a bit tight in the express, 47th at 2 Marquette. Inbound 57, approaching 159th, an accident off to the right shoulder. Still heavy due Sable Lakeshore Drive either way. Tri-State South, crash at Cermak cleared. Traffic is a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business. It is a calling, family-owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Steiner Homes, love where you live. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle as we reach a low of 33. Moving into Tuesday, we can anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower as temperatures climb to a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle, and temperatures will drop back down to 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country. I'll read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
The Epoch Times, one of the best outlets we have access to, and I mean it. And the reason is it was founded by a woman who had to live under communists. Those are always the ones who make the best Americans, and they understand that you have to constantly remind people why communism, socialism, and Marxism leads to tragedy and death and mayhem. My next guest is an award-winning journalist and senior reporter for the Epoch Times. Frequently covers Capitol Hill, elections, and so much more, writing about energy, environment. In fact, he monitors the mores of a society even as it looks like it's devolving. His name is Nathan Worcester. How are you, Nathan?
Glad to be here, and thank you for that introduction. I hope I can live up to it. Wow.
Well, listen, I feel that way about Epoch Times. I mean, I think it's absolutely wonderful. I've been lucky enough to interview a lot of the people, mainly the founder, and you know, it's a very important paper. It's a very important perspective because we're inundated by government-approved propaganda, and there's only a handful of outlets that have maintained the integrity, and you're part of it. You're one of them, and it's interesting to see. I believe this is the most exciting time in America because all of the accusations and allegations made by people like me that says it's a duopoly of corruption and the government is a club, you ain't in it, it's an illusion of representation, it's never been more obvious to me.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that's the reality that a lot of people are leading to just find themselves questioning a lot as a result of not really knowing where to turn for objective information, because it can seem like everything coming at you, everything bombarding you has an agenda. And I try to make sure that what I'm doing is not limited in that way. I try to just call it as I see it.
And the beauty is that we have, being Chicagoans, and I'm talking to my audience now, for the most part, is that we are from the nucleus of the mafia and communist Marxist socialist agenda. They married. And they figured out how to make a tremendous amount of money and power from the collapse of a society. All they need are more and more people dependent on welfare to really attain that servitude, that slavery that Marxism and communism and socialism is. And what I like is that, unfortunately for them, there's this thing called the internet now. And we can go back just a handful of years ago to when Chicago's very own, I call him a bust-out married to a woman with really big feet, Barack Obama, who was late on his car payment, all mobbed up, had gangsters buy his property for him, make his car payments. When he went to Washington, D.C., that changed everything. That took the corruption that we tolerated under Clinton and he put it on steroids. And one of the things I love is how many people defended Barack Obama, which we can now refer to. For instance, this war power discussion you and I are going to have. I remember when it was reverse, when Barack Obama, who had killed tremendous amounts of people, bombed inadvertently innocent people, when he wanted to go into Libya, do you remember Nancy Pelosi, 2011?
That whole conflict over whether or not that required a war powers resolution. Yeah, I mean, I can recall
Here it is.
over that. In fact, we came very close to pulling the trigger on that.
Now, Nathan, you've dealt with politicians and you've dealt with powerful people, mostly honest. When somebody worth $500 million from insider trading talks, I think it's really important we pay attention. Here she is.
So, Madam Speaker, Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Nathan. The conference is over, and I like it because if she would have only given out a couple of stocks we could have bought back then, maybe we could have made a fortune, don't you think?
Yeah, interesting to consider. I think every time that there's a new conflict, something that, you know, depending upon who's in the White House, people are going to emphasize Article 1 versus Article 2. This is Congress's sphere versus the president's sphere. The reality is, and I'm saying this as somebody, I respect the Constitution. It seems as though the Congress long ago gave up its authority over war making. And so we're living in the reality that the executive makes a lot of these decisions, seeks some degree of approval from Congress afterwards. they don't always live up to what the Constitution initially authorized them to do, and what they then reinforced through the War Powers Act in the 20th century. I have to say it'll be interesting to watch this play out. I think it's certainly likely to be similar to the Venezuela War Powers Resolution battle. You did see a few Republicans in an initial procedural vote. They broke with the president, but they ultimately came back on side. This ultimately, though, is, I have to say, pretty symbolic in nature. Even if this were to move ahead, even if it were to pass, the president could veto it. So, there's a lot of sound and fury, a lot of attention to it, but at the end of the day, is it going to add up to much? That's an open question.
One of the problems, and I know you've encountered this, is the tolerance of the American people to live with scandal and live with corruption and live with fraud. And when we talk about this conflict specifically, I'm lucky enough to remember it from the standpoint of a kid in grade school at the time, and remember the Jimmy Carter years. Most people do not. And that's fair to say, right? Most people do not remember. And if they do, they're older and they don't have a platform or they're retired. But this particular conflict is a war that has been going on for 47 years with agreements that never mattered to the criminals calling themselves Iran. They never mattered any more than an oath matters in Chicago when an alderman takes it. It doesn't matter. Liars cannot give their word. That's another problem we have, isn't it?
I think it's interesting when I speak to people who can recall that late 70s, early 80s period, the hostage crisis, the strike on the Marine barracks in Beirut, the level of hostility that the, at that time, new regime showed, and the fact that they never really walked that back. I think for a lot of people who have not experienced that, it's and I would count myself in that group. I was not alive in 1978 and 79, 82 at any of these times. I think that makes it more understandable why there's this sense that, yes, we have needed to address Iran more seriously for a long time. At the same time, it's interesting now that we're getting a sense of what the objectives from the administration are. Are we going to be seeing a push for full-on regime change? Seems like we might instead see something similar to what we've seen in Venezuela, where instead there's a push perhaps to reshuffle the leadership. Could we see, something that lasts for 4 weeks, 5 weeks? We still do, I think, need to have those objectives defined. And finally, I don't know if you caught this, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he said this was, in a sense, a preemptive strike because there was the anticipation that Israel was going to move. The United States should then move as well. I think, looking at the way that this played out, it would be a mistake to approach this strike as though it's suddenly something that came out of nowhere and there had not been decades of provocations from Iran and its proxies. On the other hand, we still, I think, have a lot of questions as to how this is going to play out and how it came to be in the first place.
Well, this is the nice part about it. We can revisit all of this. And when you have half a century of an entire country and the people who are loyal to it, chanting death to civilization, which is what it is, death to the West, death to America, death to Israel. I've always been amazed at why people don't believe them. This is something, maybe you have to grow up in a rougher neighborhood to understand when someone threatens you, they're serious. Believe them and handle it. And yet we've been lulled to sleep to think there were parchment agreements with people who live in a cult where they kill their own people. This is the other side of the coin. The 70s was also a great time to realize how many Iranians of good conscience and character had to leave with nothing, come here and across the world to start all over again and to hear their stories. You could never intellectually or financially support Iran. Yet we've had president after president, from Jimmy Carter in the beginning, who started to bribe the Ayatollah. If the guy's dressed in a costume like he's waiting for the birth of Christ, you're not going to lure him with money, are you?
No, I think what you're looking at is a combination of ideological hardliners. This has not changed. But you also have now the rise of the Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC. I've spoken to a lot of people in D.C., defense analyst types, many of whom I think would like to see this succeed. I think the worry is, have we knocked out all of the old people, all of the, frankly, the people who are not that serious? Have we left in these IRGC, the younger hardliners who might not be so ideological about the Islamic Revolution, but they want power and they don't want to be blown up? Is there going to be a way, can we give some of those people carrots or could we use sticks to get them on side? On the other hand, is it possible that eventually there could be some alternative brought in? One thing that I've appreciated from my understanding of the reporting on President Trump's thought process, as in so many of these other conflicts, he's not immediately rushing to the sort of person that I think Washington, D.C. would want to see fill that role. As much as Shah, the inheritor of the role of the Shah, he's somebody who probably represents a lot of Iranians. Not obvious that he could step into this role immediately if there is some change in the regime. I think that looking at that realistic perspective the president has taken, as he has done so far in Venezuela, maybe that gives us a clue as to what we're going to be seeing over the next few weeks as we might come closer to real denuclearization by Iran, or at least a commitment to no more enrichment. And yet at the same time, I got to say, Shaun, something that stuck with me, a conversation I had was, seems like, and this is based on, I think, some of the intel assessments from the United States, the Iranians, even as they're failing, even as they're kind of just this hand reaching out from the water as it's drowning, they're going to cause as much trouble as they possibly can on the way down. So I'm certainly hoping that more Americans don't die in huge numbers here. I'm hoping that we can manage this conflict in a way that is decisive and can take us away from that legacy, that very sorry legacy of decades of provocations, aggression, and, as you said, consistent message, not just of vague, not liking somebody or whatever. No, this is kind of like a petty neighborhood bully that will never stop trying to exact some sort of toll, never stop trying to take his piece of the action or whatever.
And you have the issue at hand of the Islamo-Nazi sympathizer who just shot up 17 people in Texas. And you have the reality of realizing, as I see it, and as I have done the research, in my mind, there's no question Joe Biden was an illegitimate president who stole the 2020 election. But that's beside the point when you think about the millions, potentially millions and millions of illegal aliens who are here, and a tremendous portion of them are sympathizers to this ideology, may in fact be assets of Iran itself, if not other communist regimes that want to see the fall of the West. So we have cells here we have to be very, very aware of. And I couldn't help but notice 15 illegal Iranians were arrested Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is obviously something the Trump administration is aware of as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think that this, to bring it to what's happening on the Senate and the House side again, we've had this impasse over the DHS bill. Many Republicans now are pointing out that with the strike and then with the possibility of sleeper cells or other elements attempting to wreak havoc in the homeland, as we have already seen, most likely in the case of what happened in Austin, not far from where I am right now, by the way. Yes, this might be the time to actually get that DHS bill across the line if lawmakers are serious about preventing this inevitable sequel to the events that we've seen so far from playing out.
And, it's the part that nauseates me about this. We're the ones, we, America, and crooked politicians, we're the ones that financed the Taliban in the first place. And when you look at all of this, when you look at the corruption in our own government that allowed these terrorist cells to become rich, become armed, and now that it's happening on our shores, this is the play, right? The terrorists always attack the kids, the women, the children. This is how they operate, and that they're here. But yet I can't help but always remember we're the ones that started this. We did it to fight a proxy war with Russia, originally in Afghanistan. Remember Charlie Wilson's war and all that nonsense? And then
the war of attrition. And then I remember there's a case to be made. We did attrit them. There's a sense in which, unfortunately, we made it harder for Russia. We probably did make it harder for them. We probably did help drive them towards the collapse of the Soviet Union. But we also allied ourselves with this very ugly element. That's the reality.
And financed it. And do you know what I was thinking about when you look at you remember all of the nonsense during the Bush years, right? The Iran-Contra and all the rest of it. And then you remember what happened during the Clinton years. Mean Arkansas and the dope and the allegiance between the Middle East and the cartels and specifically Central and South America. I can't help but think what Trump's doing when you pan back from it. He's destroying that infrastructure, or at least attempting to, whether it's in Venezuela, because Venezuela had an agreement with the Middle East for decades, for years. They had that flight that nobody wanted to talk about under the Biden years that went from Tehran to Caracas, and nobody knows what was on the plane. Once a week, dope and money, who knows? So he takes out Venezuela. Now he goes after Iran. It could be he's destroying the infrastructure of the CIA in the way he destroyed the infrastructure of the teachers union. Did you ever think about it?
You know, it's interesting to consider that alongside the documentation that there is of Hezbollah as a proxy of Iran operating within South America through networks there of Middle Eastern immigrants. Yeah, no, I think that panning back in that way, I don't know if I find it entirely convincing. People have pointed out, however, that Iran has been selling its oil to China at a discount. There is a sense in which perhaps we're looking at something bigger geopolitically. On the other hand, I think considering the way that this has played out, considering how rapidly we've moved just in the past few weeks, I think, from seeing the protests on the streets of Iran to negotiations in Geneva, evidently failing to these strikes. You know, some of this we're looking at maybe a bigger picture, and then I think there's also a sense in which we're seeing an attempt to bring, from the perspective of the United States, from the perspective of Israel, trying to bring the Iran problem to some sort of a decisive conclusion. Again, we will have to see what happens. We'll have to see whether that is ultimately successful. Time will tell, but certainly looking at the past operations from President Trump, Venezuela, Maduro, last summer's strikes, you know, there seems to be a bias towards quick, decisive action. We'll, as I said, we'll have to just watch and observe as this plays out, and judge as we see the fruits of all of that.
So we're on air right now, and a scandal broke where a reporter allegedly was told by his producer to stop covering Iranians that are cheering for America. Are you seeing a concerted effort to really control the narrative and the perspective? I mean, after all, did you ever think, and I mean this, in all of your years covering this, you would see so many elected senators and congressmen defend the Ayatollah? Did you ever think you'd see it?
You know, it's interesting. This puts me in mind of a recent story that I covered. There are members of Congress who have been pushing, and this is after the capture of Maduro, the successful removal of an accused narco trafficker, somebody who's been, I think, pretty clearly involved in this network of fierce, direct, consistent opposition to the United States, its people, and its interests. You have had a push from lawmakers to repudiate the Monroe Doctrine, to say actually the United States should not operate in this concerted way with a view to how things happening right on its shores, right in its backyard. In the case of Venezuela, Cuba, Colombia, you have people who are trying to push back against that. So the notion that you would similarly have, and I have not seen whatever you're specifically referring to, but the notion that you would have something that seems like it comes a little too close to sympathy from lawmakers on Iran on that issue. I mean, I have to say, there's not a lot of consistency, unfortunately, from lawmakers when it comes to some of these obvious cases where, you might be able to make the case in some instances of, there's sympathy for people who, maybe they don't like the Shah, or rather, maybe they don't like the Iranian regime, but they also don't like aspects of what the United States has done. But if you go beyond that to really something that looks much more like sympathy for a very strongly, consistently anti-American regime, people are going to draw their own conclusions as to what the motivations there are.
Maybe we need enough people to see the videos and the articles and the pictures from Iran in 1972 to wake them up a little bit. But what I love is that you made time for me, and I know how busy you are. Please tell everybody at the Epoch Times how essential they are to freedom, liberty, and preserving Americanism. I really appreciate it, Nathan, for you taking time to join me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
If you owe the IRS or state $10,000 or more, the stress can feel crushing. You may even worry about getting misled by big national tax companies that care more about quotas than people. That's exactly why ClearPath Tax Strategies exists. We're local, not some 800 number 3 states away. We're an independent team of experienced CPAs and attorneys who share your conservative values and believe that every tax problem has a real solution, one that works for you. We will fight to get you the lowest possible settlement, but nothing changes until you take the first step. Schedule your free consultation today and finally understand your options. Call 262-786-4442. That's 262-786-4442 or visit cptstrategies.com. ClearPath Tax Strategies. No judgment, just results. Take back your future and get the IRS and state off your back.
You know, it's funny, Squirrel. I ever tell you the story after the towers came down? And I went to the Merc. They were shut down for 4 days, which was the longest time in history. Everybody, it's going to go to the... That's it. It's in the gutter. It's going to collapse. Everything's going to collapse. You know the first thing I did, Squirrel? I bought the dung out of it right on the open. I bought the dead-ass low. I felt the same thing today. It's going to be the end of the market. It's going to crash and oil's going to rally. That's when you buy the market and sell oil because the hyper propaganda has always been wrong. The fundamentals always win. We're the country that gave every ordinary American the opportunity to buy a piece of every company. That's what a stock is. And you need somebody who understands the fundamentals. I guarantee you, my guy Tom Fortino and the people at Alpha Wealth Group were buyers today. There's no question in my mind. And all you need to do is call 630-864-6711. And the best thing about having somebody who understands fundamental economics and the principles of what makes a stock of value or not, they also know how to set it up so your kids get it. You see, if you live in a Democrat area, they're broke and bankrupt. They cannot govern themselves any more than a convict can be a prison guard. So you have to have your assets set up just right at the time of your death because they'll steal it. Just like they make up your property taxes, make up more taxes for you to drown in. If it's important that your kids get your retirement assets, call that same number, 630-864-6711, or go online to alphawealthgroup.com and ask them for a free complimentary review of your assets and a retirement roadmap. That's what they can give you. Peace of mind. They don't panic. They profit. Ooh. Put that on a shirt at alphawealthgroup.com. When we get back, 312-642-5600. I'll take your calls and comments after Patrick.
Thank you, Shaun. And it is 59 degrees in Chicago in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. People continue today to pay their respects to the late civil rights leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson in Chicago.
Very blessed to have the opportunity to come and show our love and respect for the Jackson family.
The doors of Push will be open until 10 tonight. Additional services will be held Monday in South Carolina, Wednesday in Washington, D.C. A People's Celebration will be held next Friday at House of Hope in Chicago with a private homegoing service set for March 7th. Bipartisan group of Illinois lawmakers introducing energy legislation to protect consumers from costs associated with the state's planned phase-out of natural gas.
Democratic State Senator Javier Cervantes said Senate Bill 3979 requires a thorough review of customer bill impacts before large-scale gas transition projects are approved and protects taxpayers from unfair cost increases and shifting.
Now, what it doesn't do, it does not stop electrification or clean energy innovation, and it does not roll back environmental progress.
Republican Senator Terry Bryant said Senate Bill 4028 would have the Illinois Commerce Commission address outdated interconnection rules that lead to lengthy timelines and inconsistent costs for developers and businesses.
The bill gives the ICC 180 days to initiate and complete a rulemaking to modernize those interconnection standards and remove bottlenecks.
I'm Chip Talamonte.
This reporter service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Think full mouth dental implants are too expensive? Think again, not at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. With medical insurance, you could save thousands and receive your finally affordable Dream Smile. Check if you qualify today at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Let's head now to the traffic center, get an update on those road conditions.
The Edens going out, no reported delays. The Kennedy, a 35-minute trip. Downtown to O'Hare, tighten the express from Keeler to the Edens. On the Eisenhower 45 post office out to 390. Stevenson, 38 minutes. Out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway with an accident at County Line. 25 minutes out on Ryan, stop and go in the express. 47th to Marquette. Very heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, both north and south. Delays filling the tri-state either direction as well. The Jane Addams, not bad. The Reagan looks pretty good, but it is a bit snug southbound. 355 northbound trip is wide open. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proctor University and the Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle and temperatures dropping to a low of 33. As we move into Tuesday, anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower possible and temperatures reaching a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle and temperatures remaining around 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
As the seasons change, so does the worry. The flu, cold, and COVID season is coming, making a lot of people feel anxious. But what if you don't have to feel that way? My name is Dr. Michael Huber, one of the developers of Virago, the liquid immune enhancement cocktail. Virago was formulated in a liquid to enhance absorption and provide a rapid response. Comprised of 23 natural ingredients chosen for their synergistic properties, it gives your immune system the boost it needs to fight whatever virus is out there. So with the Virago Boost, you can face the coming flu season feeling confident that you are protected. With Virago, you're not fighting the seasons, you're ready for them. Virago, power to defend. Maha starts with Virago.
Order your bottle of Virago online today. Visit myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. That's myvirago.com. Coupon code IMMUNE. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Vintage toys or model trains in the attic? Sell them for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Government mafia picks its favorites. Ro Khanna is among those favorites. I mean, after all, they let him get away with $170 million in trading profits in 7 years of being a congressman. $170 million in trading profits, 7 years, Ro Khanna. And yet he's never asked about the economy.
Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution to stop this war.
Now, Ro Khanna You're following the long legacy of another California scum mafia Democrat who traded even better than you. Nancy, I cannot feel my face, post-op Pelosi, who has been drunk or high since the 80s. Get off the table, whore.
While House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi says she respects the prerogatives of Congress regarding military action, she argues that President Obama does not need congressional authorization for the U.S. military involvement in Libya.
Rokana, they got this thing now. Al Gore says he invented it, called the Internet, the World Wide Web. And now we've got AI. Why don't you just ask Grok? What did I can't feel my face post-op Pelosi say when she was only worth $200 million of insider trading in 2011?
Libya.
Let me respond by saying I've always believed that it's very important to respect the prerogatives of the Congress in terms of and being involved in any military action. A. But B, that the consultation between the executive and the legislative branch is essential whenever we engage in a military action. I believe the limited nature of this engagement it allows the president to go forward. Now, I am reviewing the report that they have sent to the Congress. The unclassified is in the public domain. I'm going over the classified aspects of it. But I think that part of that report shows an interaction and consultation with Congress, and I'm satisfied that we can continue in the limited role that we have as part of NATO. If we have boots on the ground and mano a mano, that's a different story. But the charge that we went into in the beginning, which was to stop a humanitarian disaster with our overhead flights and refueling of other planes, I think from the readings of it I see up until now, and I have to read the unclassified.
Oh, God. See, Squirrel, that's the beginning of Flycatcher's tongue. It's hard to listen to her, but she's still drunk. But what a package she had on. She was long Visa back then. Big money. She was long Goldman Sachs, tremendous amounts of money. She was long all kinds of things. Would have made Rokana jealous.
I don't think it's going to change my view because I've had classified briefings all along. But I'm satisfied that the president has the authority he needs to go ahead. And I say that as one very protective of congressional prerogative.
Done! Now just have Trump voice over when she says Obama and remind her this is what the people voted for.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the out of them. It's true. I don't care.
That's my favorite part. I don't care. Because he's still mad about the 444 days they kept our hostages. And he's still mad at the thousands of troops they've killed over the years.
And his death cult. It took the 47th president, a fighter who always puts America first, to finally draw the line after 47 years of Iranian belligerence. He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
Bingo! Anybody else want to say something? Yell it. Say it. Say it, I dare you. And that's what it used to be an American. You used to be proud. Your government used to fight for you. But among the Democrats, who knew that lawyers who graduated cum laude from law school thought you get your rights from these crooked bastards, which means the more pay to play, the more money you could bribe them, the more rights you have. Wait a minute. That explains so many of the successful businessmen in Chirac.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law.
That's why anything Tim Kaine says, anything he says, you know what, Tim? Shut up, you fracking moron. You have no idea, as a sitting senator, as a lawyer, that our rights do not come from government. They come from God. Not the one that promises you 72 virgins. The God. The real one. So let's go to another dummy who was this close to finding her underwear in Willie Brown's car. She didn't stand a chance winning the presidency.
In the beautiful city of Detroit to visit one of
to the incredible small businesses. But before I go in, I want to address what we learned today. Donald Trump has dragged us into a war the American people do not want. He has put American troops in harm's way. I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should.
Don't let it bother you, Squirrel. She wasn't legitimate anyway. Her and that dimwit in diapers that pretended to be the president, that moron, completely illegitimate. And the proof is out.
Ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity.
You know where she was, Squirrel? She's where Kamala Harris just said is beautiful. She was in Michigan. That was shut down and helped steal the election for the dimwit in diapers. Georgia.
Republicans in the Georgia Senate want to give the state attorney general jurisdiction to bring indictments in election cases. It would take away that jurisdiction from Fulton and the rest of Georgia's counties.
You know why, Squirrel? Because convicts cannot be prison guards, and Democrats cannot govern themselves. So take solace in the fact they were completely illegitimate the whole fracking time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Isn't it funny? Yeah. The president ruined another pair of pants. And now, shoot him up again with the formaldehyde, espresso, and Viagra. Right in the eyeball or he will fall asleep.
Around the world, despite everything you read, despite the fact that COVID drove migration to record levels all around the world, the day I left office, border crossings in the United States were lower than the day that I entered that office inherited from Trump.
Sue them! Sue everybody! Well, here's the good news, Will. If you've been a victim of these scum Democrats and their sanctuary city policies, you may have an opportunity to right some wrongs. I mean, you can never bring back people who were murdered. But Laken Riley's father is putting up a fight so that at least you can punish those who sat idly by and supported this illegitimate thief, Joe Biden, and the office hornswoggler.
Tonight, the father of Laken Riley is filing a wrongful death lawsuit over his daughter's murder on the University of Georgia's campus. The lawsuit was just filed in Gwinnett County this week. 11 Alive's Galat Malamed is live now from our newsroom. Galat, you spoke with Jason Riley's attorney tonight. Who does he say they are hoping to hold responsible here?
The lawsuit claims the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia is liable in Laken Riley's death, along with the apartment complex near campus where Jose Ibarra, the man convicted of killing her.
No. That's the Biden MS-13 rapist gangbanger scum, just like the terrorists that lie in wait. The active cells are Biden terrorists.
Concern about her safety here at home in the wake of the strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. Breaking news today. Immigration and Customs agents announced they have arrested 15 illegal Iranian immigrants since Sunday. One of them admitted to ties to Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Kill that son of a dog. Or make him listen to Kamala Harris forever. Explain her credentials when I could explain it in a news clip about her pimp, Willie Brown.
He's a rogue, all right, notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women, and fast cars.
I'm a future presidential candidate, and I've got the calluses on my knees to prove it. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Your home or business has storm damage and you have an insurance claim.
Call Croscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters. Today, insurance companies are notorious for offering way too little money to repair damage to your home or commercial building due to wind, hail, tornado, floods, or fire. Crosscom works for you, not the insurance company. As licensed adjusters, Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. After they get you the fair insurance company result, Crosscom can start doing your repairs. Crosscom is a full construction and restoration company that will get your property back to its pre-loss condition, getting your life back to normal. Roof, siding, windows, doors, fire restoration, Crosscom does it all.
Call Crosscom.
Licensed in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. We share your conservative and Christian values. Let us handle everything. It all starts with a call.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
You know, there's nothing wrong with flying first class. Of course, everybody's got that cheapskate uncle that always says the back of the plane lands at the same time as the front of the plane. I guess there's some sort of cheapskate logic in that. However, the door is in the front of the plane. So why not get to first class? After all, they have dishes, silverware, glasses, warm towels. And if you want to sit at first class, or you aspire to, all you need is a little planning from Alpha Wealth Group. Their goal is to help maximize your income in retirement. Since you can't take it with you, there's no point in squandering your time. After all, the warm towels make the ride fun. Call Tom Fortino and Alpha Wealth Group for their complimentary roadmap to retirement, so you can take a first-class flight and not worry about the cost. Call 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711. 630-864-6711, or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Nolan Webster. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement. Call me at 224-801-6107 to schedule an appointment. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
AM 560, The Answer.
Get a text. Come on, not all Democrats are like that. Really? Where aren't they like that? You just don't know it because they've got the perfect system. The perfect system to compartmentalize the thievery. Let's play a game. I like it, Squirrel. We're going to do a regular segment. Spot the low-life Democrat.
We also reviewed contracts awarded and campaign donations.
It is very serious. The federal government certainly has jurisdiction to oversee abuses of power, abuses of position. Anytime you have an elected official or an appointed official and they're using their position in order to gain something of value.
Here are documents.
Boy, think about that. An elected official or an appointed official doing something to gain value. Boy, oh boy, that makes you think, huh? About mayors and commissioners and scumbags.
Provided to the FBI by one of our sources who was interviewed. It shows contracts awarded to people who have made campaign donations to Park Shaw. Fox 4 also viewed communications between people inside of City Hall and the city's legal department. The communications informed city leaders that Michael Shaw had sent emails from his personal account soliciting contributions to his wife's mayoral campaign from people who were seeking permits from the city, permits that had not yet been approved.
Take it easy, honey. I didn't steal the next election.
Arizona. On more than $10 million of misspending of ESA taxpayer dollars. Keep in mind these latest records are only a sample of total purchases representing about a 10-month period, most of it last year. Wedding gifts, gift cards, electric dirt bikes, condoms, custom tires, luxury.
Whoa. Were they, now we'll know, is it the Irish Mafia? Were they small or were they the big ones? And then you'll know which Democrat you're dealing with.
Hotel stays, insurance payments. We're getting a lot of questions online about whether this is even possible. Yes, these purchases were made. This comes from documents that 12 News actually has fought to obtain for nearly a year. Others are saying the money will eventually have to be paid back based on what...
Will they? Where's that people's mayor in Dalton? What'd she get away with? Neil, Arlington Heights.
Thank you, Shaun. Kudos to you for continuing to calling them out and shining the spotlight which is what we have to do. You mentioned about casting judgment. When we call out corruption, we are not bringing judgment on them. We are merely bearing witness to the truth as we see it and casting the spotlight on them. The judgment comes from Caesar in this life. So it has nothing to do with us casting judgment on them. We are merely bearing witness to them. And that's what we're instructed to do. And the other thing I wanted is, okay, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, and I want to, because I want to put a pin in there for just a second and elaborate on it. This is a very interesting thing that I focused on my whole life. What is the first thing we tell kids? What's the first thing we tell them? Don't judge.
Obey. Oh, yeah.
Don't judge.
Obey. Father.
Do you want to know something, Neil? I believed, thankfully, from a very young age, that's the exact wrong thing to do. I have always taught kids, my own and others, judge everything and everybody, and yourself the harshest. I think that we've been programmed almost as a conspiracy of sorts to avoid your own judgment. Think about how much better it would be your whole life if you just listen to yourself and listen to that judgment. I think we've been doing it exactly the wrong way. And maybe if we would have told kids to do that, we wouldn't have these fiefdoms where we pretend that there's politics versus a mafia posing as a government. Now, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Good to your second point.
No, and I think you're spot on, especially when we are called to judge ourselves as the harshest on the harshest standards. You are right on that score. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is be wary. As I was listening to the debate Thursday night and what you said Thursday and Friday, be wary of those who claim that they can work with the other side. That might have been true 40, 50 years ago when you could achieve some kind of workable compromise. But the rancor, the divisiveness, the corruption is so blatant now that if you work with the other side, you are not working for anybody except you're selling out to them. And
I think you have to take in totality everything that we can find out, right? Take in totality everything we can find out. Resumes are easily attained. Take in totality everything you can find out. And if you approve, approve. If you don't, think about it. I mean, it's that simple, Neil. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much for making it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. David Lansing.
Hey, Shaun, you're covering this Iran moving the War Powers Act. I dug into the War Powers Act. I'm not, okay, I would like to preface this by saying I'm not for dictatorial powers where one person can just decide, yeah, let's bomb them and not bomb them and just, willy-nilly. However, the War Powers Act works like back when, there's no phone lines and, like a Congress can vote on something.
Don't give them such little credit. Do understand what happened when we fought that inbred, fraud, fat-ass king? You do understand that he had his assets here that he had bribed. Only a third of the country wanted to be free, just like now. It's only always a third. Why do you think they gave those acts and now it's an argument? Because they understood you would get to a point when people who posed as something they're not, who were paid or bribed or were allegiant through ideology, would have a position of power. So if someone is bribed by an asset that turns back to one of the countries you're going to war with, why should they have to say anything? That's why. You only have to bribe 535 people to pretend a communist country like China isn't. We'll be back.
When someone you love is living with memory loss, finding the right care isn't just important, it's everything. At Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace, memory care isn't an add-on, it's all we do.
When Mom moved into Terra Vista, everything changed. She's safe, engaged, and surrounded by people who truly understand dementia. And I finally get to just be her daughter again.
Terra Vista was built specifically for caring for those with Alzheimer's and other types of dementia, with secure indoor and outdoor spaces, innovative therapies, and a community that feels like home. Residents stay active, connected, and respected every single day.
And the best part? Mom can live with dignity, and I have peace of mind.
If memory care is in your future, choose the community designed for it. Choose Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace. Schedule a tour today at terravista.org. Again, that's terravista.org, and tell them AM 560 sent you. Terra Vista, where memory care lives.
Wealth Health Radio.
The biggest fears that people have is, do I have enough money to retire?
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated.
To make sure that you're going through retirement with confidence.
Learn principles of income planning.
There's a lot of different facets that you need to take into consideration when you're retiring.
Tune into Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays on AM 560. The Answer.
If stairs in your home are becoming difficult, there's a practical solution, and it doesn't have to come with pushy salespeople. Access provides dependable stair lifts designed to help you stay safely in the home you love. No gimmicks, no overselling, just honest guidance, quality equipment, and professional local installation. We'll explain your options, work within your budget, and let you decide what's right at your pace. For a straightforward, no pressure, free in-home consultation, call 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
For 13 months, every moron Democrat who pretended to be an economist said there was going to be a collapse of the economy. Things were going to be terrible. These are the same idiots who said Joe Biden was an asset to the economy. So you cannot believe anybody dumb enough to be a Democrat. The good news is the only economic geniuses I bring on never were Democrats. In fact, they're admired by Republicans. Like my next guest. He's a handsome son of a gun. He is a doctor of economics. E.J. Antoni from the Heritage Foundation will join us to bask in the glory of Trumponomics after Foxweiser.
The strikes against Iran will continue. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump says it will take 4 to 5 weeks for the military to achieve its objectives in Iran, explaining his reasoning for taking the action.
The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America.
The president says this was our best chance to strike, while also paying tribute to the service members who were killed. The Pentagon now says 6 service members have been killed in that action against Iran. Key members of Congress briefed on the action.
The objective was not regime change. The objective was to take out those missiles, the short and mid-range missiles, and their ability to produce them. We did that. That was objective number 1. Objective number 2 was to eliminate their naval capabilities.
House Speaker Mike Johnson, but Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner says while he sheds no tears for the demise of the Iranian regime.
I've said before, I've said now, there was no imminent threat to the United States of America.
He said if there was a threat to Israel, and if we're acting because of that, we're in what he called uncharted territory. Israel's been under attack since the start of the conflict.
The war has now expanded to Israel's northern front, with the Iran-backed terror group Hezbollah launching rockets into northern Israel overnight. In response, the Israelis striking targets across Lebanon. Israeli sources tell Fox News that 30 Hezbollah operatives were killed and significant damage was caused to the Lebanese capital of Beirut. We're also learning that Hezbollah still has up to 12,000 missiles and rockets in its arsenal.
Fox's Trey Inks in Tel Aviv, the State Department urging U.S. citizens to leave more than a dozen Middle Eastern countries due to safety risks. America's listening to Fox News.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here is another check of the roads. Things are slowly getting better, but the outbound Stevenson at County Line, there is an accident still there in the left lane, 40 minutes on out to 355. The outbound Edens looks good. On the Kennedy, 38 minutes. Janeburn Interchange to O'Hare. Eisenhower out at 45. Post Office to 390. Outbound Dan Ryan, a 20-minute trip slowing in the Express, 47th. To Marquette in the outbound side of 57 at 167th. Watch out for an accident. To Saba Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State heavy either way. Scattered delays westbound Reagan and southbound 355. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle as we reach a low of 33. Moving into Tuesday, we can anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower as temperatures climb to a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle and temperatures will drop back down to 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes and their families, heroes like Scott Abrams. Now, for more than 3 decades, Scott served his community and country while he was on his NYPD motorcycle escorting a funeral procession. Scott was hit by a bus, leaving him partially paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers was able to honor Scott with a mortgage-free smart home. Please join us supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. If you can donate $11 a month, go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high-quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Mafia economies in Democrat areas do not work. I used to laugh every time I would hear of some socialist scheme or when Barack Obama would use the word affordable. That's fracking funny. But I used to be in the private sector. We had a little tell. We would just fade anything Jim Cramer said. And then comes the Heritage Foundation. I started listening to all these guys at the Heritage. Young, all well-dressed. Boy, oh boy, they were spot on when it came to fundamental economics. And sure enough, here we are, fast forward 30 years. And look at all the experts today who are Democrats. They said the market would collapse. Oil would almost be as high as it was under Joe Biden. I said, bull done. Bull done. Buy the market. Buy any break you can. Trump is the president. As far as oil, he just said double production. So sell oil. But I'm silly. I'm an old fundamental trader. When I want to be well-dressed, I actually look in my closet and say, is this E.J. Antoni approved? Handsome as Vincent Price. Smart as Milton Friedman. He's E.J. Antoni.
Shaun, every single week. I don't know how you do it with these intros. It's incredible. You're the man.
Thank you very much.
That's all I can say. You are the man.
I was actually we were taking a ride. I said, let me take a ride on Saturday. We had the family, right? So going in my closet, I said, what would E.J. Antoni wear out of this selection? Because you do it every week, too. When you're on Stuart Varney or you're on Charles Payne, I don't ever see you in the same outfit. And you don't sink low enough to make Charles Payne feel good about wearing sneakers either. You never wear sneakers with a suit.
Nope, that's a bridge too far for me. There's a few boundaries I'm willing to push, but that's just not one of them. I can't help it. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it.
It's ridiculous, but I promise not to make fun of them. The other thing I was reminded of after the Twin Towers attack, right, and all that nonsense, in 4 days the Merc was shut down. I was still in the pit, and I was trading S&Ps. And everybody, sell, let's go into the. I walked in the first day. I said, what's the bid? I bought the dead ass low because I knew our economy rebounds always and forever. We're the innovators. We're the ones who developed not only the stock exchange, but entrepreneurial and small business anyway. So we can suffer bad times like a illegitimate Democrat in office. And we're going to thrive under good times when you have somebody who looks out for American businesses. So I'm not surprised the market rebounded today. In fact, I think it's a fraction of what it will be in 4 years. Do you feel that way?
Well, Shaun, that's absolutely. And look, if we observe markets over the long haul, that's exactly what we experience, precisely what you just articulated. Yes, you have these dips, but it's largely because you have people overreacting in the exact same way that when you have big up days, oftentimes that is also due to overreactions. And this is where the little guy, the retail trader, as they say, just gets absolutely crushed because they're always trying to chase that next big, either big dip or the next big upswing. And if you're going to try to time it like that, sure, you may get it right every once in a while, but you're not going to get it right in the long run. The best thing a lot of these people can do, if they're not working with a broker who has a managed fund, if they really want to buy stuff on their own, for the most part, the best thing a lot of folks can do is buy and hold.
So one of the fascinating realities that Trump brings to the table, and that I thought, quite honestly, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't like it when he was talking about it. I did not like it when he was talking about it. But when he was talking about the tariffs and the rest of it, I said, nah. But I then again, he never finished the sentence, right? New Yorker doesn't finish the fracking sentences. It just gives you some innuendo. He wanted free trade, and it looks to be in just 13 months, which, by the way, is a month and a half shorter than the Iranians held the hostages when Jimmy Carter was president. In just 13 months, he has added a tremendous success and fix to corrupt onomics under Biden, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, Shaun. That's exactly right. Now, things are getting a little murky right now. After the Supreme Court decision, granted, the president has a lot of other tariff authorities he can use, but it's been very interesting to watch market reactions to the different announcements that he's made. And also now the war in Iran is a huge curveball. I mean, there's so many unknowns here. It's difficult to do, I think, any kind of decent predictive analysis, whether that's on oil markets or even natural gas markets or other indicators. Again, there's just so many unknowns here, Shaun. I will say I'm a bit nervous here. I don't want this to derail the incredible economic progress that we have made over the last year.
You ready? Because I've been watching and I got a theory. You ready? You ready? You strapped in?
Mm-hmm.
All right, loosen the ascot. Here we go. When you saw the Venezuela move first, very crucial. Very crucial. He has the Venezuela move, and what does he do? He opens that oil up, but specifically gives us a streamline, meaning America, right? To oil that had been corrupted, had been bastardized, and moron Venezuelan communists tried to pump it. So now we bring our companies in there. It makes up way more than what Iran ever brought to the world. After all, Iran, they sold half of the oil under the table because they had to fund their wars all over the place. So that piece first was crucial and essential. Simultaneously with deregulating America, and most of all, getting the self-induced Biden or Obama-Biden nonsense of green energy boondoggle out of the way. It goes down to Mexico the day before the attack and says, pump double. You guys are doing great. Now double it. And that's why I don't think it's going to get nearly as bad in oil prices as it did after Joe Biden stole the election.
Well, Shaun, again, here's the big unknown. How long is this going to last? How long will it take? We've essentially completely decapitated the government. So is something better going to take its place? Is something worse going to take its place? We just don't know. So it's unclear right now how long this is going to get dragged out for. Now, I will say it doesn't really hurt us too much in the short run. The primary nation that it hurts is actually China. Something like 90% of Iranian oil exports actually went to the Chinese Communist Party because they were one of the few countries that wouldn't sanction Iran. And so Iran had to sell China the oil at a massive, massive discount to help get around the huge sanctions that were in place. So having a lot of, let me put it this way, a lot of the changes that we saw over the weekend are going to work in our favor, because right now China has been cut off from something like 10% of their total imports, and that's going to obviously cause prices to go up in China. They're going to have to source it from other places like Russia, but that is going to divert that oil from wherever it's going currently. And then it becomes a question of, well, can the other OPEC nations that are not shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, can they increase production enough to make up for the shortfall? That remains to be seen. So again, there's just so many unknowns here. I wish I could give you a better, some better predictions here, or at least more certain predictions, give you higher probabilities. But for a lot of this, all I can say is we just don't know.
Well, you are giving me probable outcomes, and I love that, because what you really described, as far as I see it, is a tremendous win-win. And that being, if China is economically knuckle-undered, now we make them act civilized and bring them to the table and bring them to the world market. The idea that we pretended their economy was legitimate all these years has been really upsetting to me. You and I talked about the benefits of favored nation status, the corruption in the trade from World Trade Organization. But now you tell me that they've been paying pennies on the dollar for oil. Welcome to the big boy table. Man up and act like a fracking government. Or we'll figure out if we put those fillings in Xi Jinping's teeth as well, and we whack that son of a dog, too. This is the other aspect. First time ever there's a man in office. That's what I like.
And it's also going to be a huge boost to the petrodollar is another thing we should point out, Shaun, which is really, really going to help shore up the dollar. It's part of the reason I think why you've seen the strong performance in the dollar over the last couple of days. All of those oil transactions that previously were not being conducted in USDs now all of a sudden are going to have to be conducted that way, because, again, you're going to go from the illegitimate or under-the-table transactions that you're describing. You're going to go from that to everything being above board. You're going to go back to using the SWIFT system for conducting payments, for example. So yes, it is very likely that at some point Iranian production is going to come back up. Those transactions are going to be handled in dollars, and that's going to be a huge sponge to soak up a lot of excess liquidity that right now is, the Fed is having to soak up via reverse repos internationally right now, which is a whole nother scandal. The fact that we're paying a couple $100 million a day to foreign banks, not even U.S. banks. But I digress. It certainly does help strengthen, the petrodollar. I sincerely hope that wasn't part of the motivation for everything we're seeing. But you certainly do have that parallel with Iraq, where right before the Iraq invasion, they had switched off of using dollars and started using euros. Now they're going to be back on dollars.
Well, this also is an opportunity for the Iranians who were not part of that nonsense costume wearers to actually build an economy for themselves. Because one thing we never have to worry about is where the Tehran exchange closes. Where'd that close today? Or the Iranian S&P 500 or their version of the NASDAQ. Do you know where that closed? It's right next to Gaza. You know where those things close? Because now we cleared the field where you want to live in a civilized world where every Iranian has the opportunity to be something he wasn't born. Then welcome to Western civilization. What do you think?
Shaun, absolutely. Look, the more you can get countries interconnected via trade, the less likely they are to have the kinds of conflicts that we're seeing right now. If Iran was an integrated trading partner with everyone else in the region, the way France is with the United Kingdom and Germany and Switzerland and Spain. France is not going to be going to war with any of those countries anytime soon. I'm not trying to make a joke here about the French military, but in all sincerity, they have such integrated economies that it would be so utterly disastrous. That is its own kind of mutually assured destruction before you even start talking about something like a nuclear deterrent. In fact, historically, before you actually see nations go to war, in all the instances I've been able to find looking at history, Shaun, you always find a breakdown in trade occurs first. Well, one of the reasons why, if we go back to World War II, one of the reasons why Winston Churchill, for example, was a little hesitant to ally with Joseph Stalin was because right before Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union was Hitler's primary trading partner. The bombs that Hitler was dropping on London, he was purchasing from Joseph Stalin. And so it was the breakdown in trading relations between the two countries that really precipitated Operation Barbarossa and the biggest really protracted battle we have ever seen, which was the Eastern Front of World War II.
So you bring up two very important things to me, and I'll tell you what that is. Number one, when Joe Biden broke off all economic exchange with Russia, when he and his government blew up Nord Stream 2, that to me was the most provocative act that I think America's ever taken against Russia. And what he tried to do was cripple them economically. And so much of all of this could have been avoided had that not been done. So much of controlling Putin could have been done because the first step after the collapse of the Iron Curtain was what? We worked on a symbiotic relationship economically with Russia. This is all a result of bad Democrat presidents, as I see it. And when you talk about France, look at what happened when France decided to go into this socialist nonsense versus prior. After all, we wouldn't be America if it wasn't for France. They used to have the same ideology we did. They had their own cancer of socialism, their own cancer of Marxism in their country. So it's really a great example to use both of those examples of why you need peace through economic enrichment of each other, economic enrichment of your citizens. That's the only way you can have any kind of peace in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, Shaun, you're absolutely right. And when it comes to Russia, this I don't know. I feel like this is such a tragic case. It was not that long ago Russia was actually asking to join NATO, and we wouldn't let them in. I mean, it's amazing how so much of what we have done with Russia, and this is not to say like Putin's a saint or anything like that, but sadly, so much of what we have done with Russia has just pushed them into the open arms of the Chinese Communist Party, a nation that they have not been allies with. There is an incredible amount of tension along their border, which is a very, very large border. And Russia knows they don't have the military to keep that border safe in the case of a conflict with the Chinese Communist Party. But by keeping them out of NATO, by constantly sanctioning them and using a very heavy hand instead of trying to work with them, instead of trying to strengthen economic ties and bring them into our sphere of influence, we have simply pushed them to try to keep their own sphere of influence, to try to grow that sphere of influence as well, which is arguably what they've been trying to do in the Ukraine and what they did in Georgia, right? I mean, it's really just amazing how the whole situation, I think, with Russia has been completely mishandled. It was mishandled by Biden. It was mishandled by Obama, right? That was when they took Crimea. It wasn't under Trump, for crying out loud.
Well, the other thing, too, is Obama and Victoria Nuland, that slob of a typical Democrat female, what she did to incentivize all of this and lay the groundwork. I believe this is completely orchestrated. And if you remember, and I know you do, the people of Ukraine, the actual victims, they were like Chicagoans. They had been crying for help from outside because the government had been so corrupted it was constantly raping them and casting them into feudalism. So there's a lot of stuff that will be swept under the rug if we don't keep reminding people. But what I see Trump do is very strategic, even though nobody gives him credit for this. Look, he shut off the oil distributors to China, two of the biggest, Venezuela and now Iran. So now we can maybe negotiate through economic strategy versus war with China. And you can use that leverage to bring peace to Taiwan and all the rest of it. You might even get Hong Kong back for God knows what's happening, because the Chinese now are crippled economically. They have to talk to us, and we can make things better, and we can reestablish the relationship economically with the former Soviet Union if we forget about the trillions of dollars that are missing.
And look, Shaun, one of the big problems that I think we need to that we really need to kind of grapple with right now is the fact that when you're talking about a nation like Russia versus a nation like China, there are some really important distinctions between those two economies. For example, why have all of these different sanctions been largely ineffective when it comes to Russia? It's because so much of their economy, look, it's not an economic autarky, but they are largely self-sufficient. Yeah. They are not importing raw materials. They are exporting them. Okay. With China, in many instances, it's exactly the opposite. So whereas Russia has this abundance of oil and natural gas, China is starving for coal. They're starving for oil, natural gas, and not just energy. I mean, it's even foodstuffs like pork. And so you have to, I think, approach those two very, very differently, because the strategies you're going to have to use in not just negotiating, but in trying to gain leverage over them is very, very different. So like you articulated with China, you've cut off, something like a fifth of their total oil between Venezuela and Iran. I think it's a little less than a fifth. And that's a really, really important piece of leverage that you now have over them. Conversely, with a nation like Russia, if you try to cut them off, guess what? They weren't buying your oil anyway. They've been selling it. And this is one of the tragedies of the war in the Ukraine. If you look at how much Russian energy all those European nations have bought from Russia since the conflict in the Ukraine began, they have actually sent more money to Russia in the form of energy purchases than they have to the Ukraine in the form of aid, whether that's military or otherwise.
Do you know why?
Likewise, if you look at what's happening with China, right? If you look at all of the stuff, all of the frankly cheap Chinese junk that we have been buying from the CCP over the years, that is what they are using. The proceeds from that is what they are using to build up their military industrial complex, if you will, that is right now threatening places like Taiwan.
Are you ready? I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give it to you for free, no charge, next time you're on Stuart Varney or Charles Payne. And the reason for everything you just surmised, sanctions don't work, tariffs do. Now watch their heads blow off when you say that, because that's what it proves. Tariffs can be used as leverage to get to the destination of open and free trade, but a sanction never can, because it's an economic act of war. What do you think?
Well, exactly, Shaun. That's such a great point. That's exactly what sanctions are. It is economic warfare. That's very, very different from a tariff saying, look, if you're going to conduct this trade or that, then we are hereby imposing a tax on it, which is really what that is, or a duty, a fee, a fine, whatever the heck you want to call it. But no, you're absolutely right. It is economic warfare. Sanctions are in peacetime the exact same thing that we do to a country in wartime when you blockade their economy and you try to stop any of that trade.
See, we could play word games with people. I love it. I think we're smarter. I think we can win. Like, for instance, in Democrat areas, I start to tell our Democrat friends when I have to go back to the Chirac area in Illinoisistan, You guys have tariffs too, only it's on citizens. You have a gas tariff, you have an energy tariff, you have a water bill tariff in Chicago, which will really knock your socks off. And then don't forget about the property tariffs. So I think we can really confuse them with their own bastardization of language. What do you say?
I love it, Shaun. And if you don't mind, I'm going to start stealing that. I'm going to start saying, city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, they have their own kinds of tariff. They have a tariff on gasoline. I love it.
They tariff their constituents. EJ Antoni, I'll be watching for you. Now, what are you going to go with? You're going to go with, you know what I haven't seen you in? And I'm going to request it. I'm thinking either a forest or an emerald green. You know what I mean? You could pull it off if you put the white shirt with the crisp gold tie. Come on, you look like Goldfinger. I say you do it, kid.
You know what? All right, you talked me into it.
All right, very good. I'll be looking for you tomorrow. Thanks for making time for me tonight, however. I appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
All right, till then, Shaun. Thanks again.
Thank you, brother. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at Lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
He's a husband, a dad, owner of a gym. He's also a police officer. Staying strong and pain-free isn't optional. It's safety. That's why David Boardman's a QC Kinetics patient.
My job is dependent on my physical ability and my physical fitness so that I can protect myself, so that I can go home safe to my family at the end of the night.
But severe knee pain nearly took that away. Doctors said surgery, shut down the workouts. David needed another option. That was QC Kinetics. They told him,
we're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
They used David's own healing tools in his blood to help restore his knees. Regenerative treatments right in the office.
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week.
Trust the team helping active people avoid surgery. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
Honey, I can't deal with this kitchen anymore. It's cramped and everything is outdated.
I know, but it makes no sense to move. I could call my contractor buddy Chad.
Babe, you've seen Chad's house, right?
Yeah, good point.
Plus, he showed up late for his own wedding. Let's get someone who's reliable.
How about Forever Remodeling? They have a team of interior designers, master installers, and project managers all under one roof.
Their reviews on Google look amazing, and homeowners post a ton of pictures of their work.
It looks like they even offer 3D rendering of their projects.
Just like my TV design shows.
Exactly.
Plus, AM 560 listeners get a free in-home design consultation.
From kitchens to bathrooms, basements to whole homes, the design build team at Forever Remodeling takes the stress out of remodeling. They're done on time and guaranteed to match your vision. Visit them online at foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com. Forever Remodeling, stress-free and high-quality remodeling.
In his new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, Dinesh D'Souza brings the new Middle East into focus.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before.
But is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? The Dragon's Prophecy is powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie. Now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously,
for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Rashaw talks about building income in retirement.
You know, you can actually structure it in a way that have that $4,000 a month coming in the door every single month. So you don't have to look at the stock ticker and say, oh, the stock market's up today, stock market's down. You still got that $4,000 a month, and having that opportunity to take the vacations and do all the fun things in retirement that you always dreamed to do.
Unleash your wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Did you know, Squirrel, Illinois is talking about high-speed rail? What a fracking joke. You can't run a bus station. You know, it's interesting to watch the evolving of our area. And if you want to feel good about your area, Union, Illinois. It's almost like Crook County and the Chicago Mafia Democrats didn't even touch it. It's amazing what you can find in Union, Illinois. Great restaurants, great people, and an incredible museum where you can buy things called Donley Auctions. That's exactly what it is. When I think about things I like, whether it's weapons or cars or old advertising to make you proud of America, it's all at Donley Auctions. For instance, we're going to get a Shelby and a Duesenberg. DonleyAuctions.com. These are the kind of things they have. And they have old GTOs. When it comes to cars, they have the best selection. Motorcycles. They even have boats and bicycles. It's absolutely fantastic. You cannot walk through it and not feel pride and good about America, because you're seeing things from all parts of history, things that were laying around your grandmother's house that you had no idea were worth a fortune. Advertising memorabilia, anything in Petroliana, all of value. When it comes to weapons, federal, state licensed arms dealer, old guns, new guns, even a cannon, all at DonleyAuctions.com. And Randy can help you sell them all if he doesn't buy them directly himself, because he exposes your items to the World Wide Web. And all you have to do is call 815-923-7000 and ask the question. 5 decades of experience of selling knickknacks, what people would not even think of value, for tremendous money. The license plate, $30,000. The wife thought the husband was fooling around. You're wasting your time with that hobby. That was one. He had boxes full. Go online at DonleyAuctions.com to take a look. And if he opens the doors before an auction, take the kids. It's a museum where you can buy things. Check it all out for yourself. DonleyAuctions.com or call 815-923-7000. You're talking to the nicest people with the most experience in moving items across the world at DonleyAuctions.com. Carrie in Crown Point, you'll be first. 312-642-5600 after news with Patrick.
Thank you, Shaun. We're at 57 degrees in Chicago in the QC Kinetics newsroom on AM 560, The Answer. People continue to pay their respects to the late civil rights leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson, at Rainbow Push headquarters in Chicago. Doors will remain open until 10 tonight. Thousands of people have filed into Push to view Jackson's body. Among the dignitaries on Thursday, Mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson.
But to me personally, was a mentor and a friend and a brother, and he will be forever missed, and I'm grateful for his life and his legacy and the transformation that he's brought to the globe.
Chicago man is charged in the shooting deaths of a father and son at their Little Village jewelry store last November. Muhammad Thomas extradited to Chicago after U.S. Marshals arrested him earlier this week in St. Louis. Authorities say Thomas is the gunman who robbed a business before killing the two. Thomas faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and armed robbery. Chicago man is accused of sharing child porn. Cook County sheriffs say that they launched an investigation in December after receiving a tip about a social media user uploading and sending potential child pornography using their account. Investigators learned that the social media account belonged to Levi Pitchford. Pitchford was arrested this week. This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. More news coming your way at 7 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. On AM 560, let's head to the traffic center and a check of the roads. Here's Jill Urchak.
On the outbound Edens, no troubles. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare is a half hour. Eisenhower 35, post office to 390. Stevenson is a crash at California going out. That's blocking the center lane. 35 minutes to Sabo Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Outbound Ryan, 20 minutes. And outbound 57, an accident at 167th. It is still jammed along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, north and south. Tri-State busy either way, southbound a stall in the right lane at Roosevelt. No problems though along the Jane Addams, the Reagan cleared up, and 355 is also in good shape as well. Traffic is a service of American Beam and Steel, structural repair licensed contractors for your home and business. Search for American Beam and Steel online to schedule your consultation directly with the owner, Mark. American Beam and Steel. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect the skies to become cloudy with scattered drizzle and temperatures dropping to a low of 33. As we move into Tuesday, anticipate mostly cloudy conditions with a passing shower possible and temperatures reaching a high of 43. Tuesday night will bring mostly cloudy skies with areas of drizzle and temperatures remaining around 33. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
Let me tell you, Chicago gets cold, very cold, and they love me in Chicago. The fake news isn't reporting it, but it's true. And you can't have your furnace fail in Chicago. That's no good.
That's when you should call Air Right Heating and Cooling.
The technicians, beautiful people. You're freezing, everybody's freezing. They show up fast, know what they're doing, and get the heat back on quickly.
Air Right Heating and Cooling offers 24/7 service throughout Chicagoland.
A broken furnace in Chicago is like living in Greenland. And believe me, I know Greenland. Very cold, lots of ice. These guys install the best furnaces. Frankly, it's not even close. Even Rosie O'Donnell would say I'm right, but she won't.
For fast, reliable heating service, trust Air Right Heating and Cooling. Tell them AM 560 sent you and save $56 off any service.
Nobody's ever done anything like that. Unbelievable.
Visit them at air-right.com. That's AIR-RITE.com. Doing it right since 1959.
I spent years in the Marine Corps learning discipline, attention to detail, and how to do the job right. I'm Jim Melchert, and these standards stayed with me when I founded Garage Store here in Chicagoland. Your garage is probably the most neglected part of the house. Cracked floors, clutter everywhere, and a lot of wasted space. Garage Store provides solutions for that. Built for Chicago weather, our beautiful, durable floor coatings can be installed in just 2 days. We also install heavy-duty cabinets, overhead storage, even vehicle lifts. From floor to ceiling, your garage will be transformed into a space you'll be proud of and a space your friends will envy. Plus, our in-house, professional, respectful crew delivers timely installs. See why thousands of Chicagoans are transforming their garages with Garage Store.
Schedule your free in-home garage makeover estimate today. Call 847-428-8862 or visit garage-store.com. That's garage-store.com. Garage Store, built on service, driven by quality.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Old porcelain signs, gas and oil collectibles, collectors are waiting. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran.
Squirrel. Vince Vance is the name name of that band. And I remember hearing it on radio. And the reason was, Squirrel, Iran had kidnapped, tortured our citizens for 444 days. 444 days. The nation was so disgusted. Not just because of the inflation in the economy of that moron, that simp, Jimmy Carter, but at his absolute and complete weakness that he was.
But we will not rest nor deviate from our efforts until all have been freed from their imprisonment and their abuse. We hold the government of Iran fully responsible.
As he bribed them. And right after Ronald Reagan won, first of all, that song came out. And that moron called the Ayatollah.
Can we get rid of this Ayatollah T-shirt? Khomeini died years ago.
But Marge, it works on any Ayatollah. Ayatollah Nakhbada, Ayatollah Zahedi. Even as we speak, Ayatollah Razmara and his cadre of fanatics are consolidating their power.
And there was another Khomeini. They released him because they knew they'd get their ass kicked. And that's exactly what Donald Trump represented. And the idea you could come to some sort of an agreement. You can't come to an agreement with an Iranian any more than you can a Democrat. Their word means nothing.
I don't understand why they like him so much. Because he clearly don't like them. Because when 42 million people, and I know some of them had to be MAGA, when they needed to line up to get their EBT, and it wasn't nothing there.
Shut your ghetto snipe ass up. When you talk about EBT, some people are forced to deal with it, especially under that moron, dimwit, election thief, fraud, traitor Joe Biden. But most people aren't proud of being on welfare. People of character aren't. Only Democrats are.
So, I don't like Trump. He's taken everything I worked for. Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP. I paid all that. I paid into it. I used to work, but I only make $300 a week.
If you make $300 a week and you paid nothing, you moron. You got more in a rebate called a refund than you ever paid in. You're just a Chicago Democrat. Proud about it.
I don't make $100,000 a year in his category, so I'm poor. So he says I'm lazy. That's not right.
So does your doctor, you 400-pound fat ass. He's one of those guys that goes to Walmart and has to put his big fat ass on the little rascal because he's too fat to walk down the aisle. Never made $1 in his life.
No, I understand. We all have our own opinion. You know, I'm on disability and stuff because I can't work anymore.
Get old, Otto.
I'm messed up. My wife is too. We can't work.
Yeah, because his dairy cow wife, she's on her own disability. So what does this one fat ass Chicago Democrat couple cost society?
But he thinks we should. So you think that's a good president? He's a pedophile. He rapes 12-year-old girls. It's
funny when they say that. You know what they talk about? They're talking about the Epstein file. And nobody talks about the only president that we know is a rapist. But moreover, 17 times Epstein. 17 times Epstein went to the White House. There's pictures of him and Bill, not just in a hot tub, but with matching shirts on. And not a rat Democrat Chicago sloth gives a rip. Because Bill Clinton could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and never lose a vote.
I just finished testifying in front of the House Oversight Committee. I did it for two reasons.
This should be a syphilis warning commercial. He's at stage 4. Listen to him, Squirrel.
First, I love my country.
Sure you do.
Including our Constitution.
Sure you do.
And America was built on the idea that no person is above the law.
No person? You kind of skirted it, didn't you, scumbag?
In England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it. And didn't inhale and never tried it again.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Wrong.
Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie. Not a single time. Never. These allegations are false.
First, I had no idea of the crimes Epstein was committing. No matter how many photos they show of me, I have two things that at the end of the day matter far more than any interpretation.
Shut your rat ass up. I always knew what you were, cokehead thief.
So the bread's in the pudding.
Yeah,
so people like you like them. I don't understand. You see the stuff on TV every day, all the problems that he's causing.
Oops, sorry.
He's not causing me any problems. Well, he's causing the whole country problems. Like I'm from Chicago, so Brisker says he's killing 40 million people by taking away Medicaid. It's true. You gotta see what's going on. Live the shirt.
Yeah.
You're not a Trump lover, are you?
I love myself.
But you gotta love what you're getting from like Obama.
I don't let none of that affect me, sir.
Well, it affects me.
I put myself in situations where I don't have to rely on anybody.
Well, I can't work.
I understand that.
I don't want the stuff. I need it.
Got you.
I'm not greedy. I don't want it. I need it. And he's taking away what I need. It's enough now. Really
How are you paying for your vacation?
Well, I got disability.
You need it, fathead. I don't give a rip if you sit in a gutter like a guppy. Fat, useless slob. Also known as a Chicago Democrat. Carrie, Crown Point.
Shaun, this is why I voted for Trump. He's like Mr. Miyagi. Venezuela was wax on. Iran is wax off. With China, we got to sweep the leg.
Exactly. And we're destroying the infrastructure of drug distribution that went right to Mena, Arkansas, which is why Bill Clinton got a pass all those years. Scumbag. 312-642-5600.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneinc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneinc.com. Tech made personal locally.
Perhaps you're a collector. Or perhaps all of a sudden you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donley Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donley Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonleyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donley does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers, it's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donley has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson,
on AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Dakota with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
When you can no longer handle your own home, Hearthstone Assisted Living at the Lutheran Home in Arlington Heights is here to help make life easier. Experience upscale living with comprehensive health services. We offer fine dining, engaging activities, available chaplains, weekly worship services, and quality amenities including a bistro, expansive library, and general store. For a limited time, mention WYLL for an additional discount. Call 847-595-5024 or visit LutheranLifeCommunities.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Mr. President, could you tell us how the tide is being turned in the case of the American hostages in Tehran?
Well, we haven't made adequate progress there. What we've done since the very beginning is to try to protect the lives and safety of those hostages from the original.
What a fracking moron he was. Hey, Bill, when you see Jimmy Carter and the Ayatollah, tell them both I said, right here.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't. What is your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the out of them. It's true. I don't care.
The best. The best. Tom, Blue Island.
Hey, Shaun Dittos. You and I are old enough to remember, and my intention isn't to knock President Reagan. He should have unrooted this stuff in 81 after what we had seen. And then, and when President Trump made his speech, he mentioned a couple of things throughout the early 80s. And I understand that was in the wake of Vietnam, and so there wouldn't have been any taste for it. And all I can say to you, brother, is that I'm hoping that we're going to achieve what we need to achieve, and we're going to be out of there in a month or two, brother, because I'm not interested in this 10 or 15, 20-year BS, my man.
I don't think you have. You already annihilated the upper echelon by 95%. But what you have to remember is Reagan was hampered with a CIA scumbag named George Bush. And George Bush learned, he observed, he may have been an architect for that funding of the Taliban and the Islamo-Nazis to have the proxy war with Russia. He may have learned there's more money in a covert war than there is in a war like this, which is tragic. But after all, what were you going to do? Were you going to cut a deal with the Iranians, who learned from Jimmy Carter and the rest of them? There's more money in pretending you're at peace and double-crossing everything. After all, the Americans are so stupid. Look who they vote for.
We need to have a realization that we've got about 35 years worth of oil left in the whole world. We're going to run out of oil.
When he finally died after 100 years, what did the media say? He was one of the greatest. They may not say that about Trump, this particular generation, but generations to come will use Trump as a high bar for politics forever. Not only giving a finger to all of the scum that are Democrats of this current era, in Barack Obama and the dimwit in diapers, but recognizing that an actual American who loves his country, who had never run for office, never been elected dog catcher, was a better president than all of these cultivated frauds. And the reason is the cultivated frauds will be exposed for just selling bull dung and fraud and fiefdoms to their constituents.
You just never know what the opportunity is. You need to be ready for it.
Supporters of high-speed rail say economic opportunity is just a train ride away for many in the state. But they warn without a plan, those opportunities will get left at the station. Good evening. I'm Kelly Finley in for Brandon.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. You have heard us talk before about the work to expand passenger rail. This latest push is all about frequency. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Alex.
Illinois wants more rail, more high-speed rail, because what they learned from Gavin Newsom is it's in the contract where you can pay a firm $894,000 a day, not to lay the rail, not to lay the ties, not to succeed. That'll make the money they stole at O'Hare. Whew! That'll look like hard work by the time they're done with the rail. And the Democrats that are in control of what, 4 counties, 5 counties, 6 counties, the ones that are run by Democrats who lie, cheat, and steal for a living. They control the whole state now.
The hard work is now done. The system has been modernized. The tax bills are going out on time. They're actually at the printer as we speak. They'll be out by March.
They're at the printer. There's Grady Preckwinkle. They're at the printer. $200 million later. What was the name of that company? Slip and Fall Law? No. Those were the constituents that argued to get your taxes lowered, affiliated with Madigan.
March 2nd to April 1st. And we'll have a transparent and accountable system going forward.
Oh, finally. And as for the last 100 years of the Crook County stealing, they perfected it. Because your choices are ass-faced Preckwinkle or the drunk from the Boss Bar. Democrats and Democrats can't govern any more than convicts can be prison guards. We'll be back in 21. Fastest show on Radio Squirrel, bar none. Let's do 2 more hours. I can do 2 more.
If moving safely around your home is a concern, you deserve clear answers, not a sales pitch.